Oh, it's time.
Call a meeting order.
Trevor Bundy.
Here.
Chaz Foster.
Here.
Riley Emerson.
Here.
Matt Watnick. Here. Julie Lyon.
Here.
Joel Holscher.
Present.
Okay, nobody can flip to in. Good. Move on to minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna swear him.
Any discussions or concerns with?
I think I was wondering is if under Parks and Rec, we have the both bids out there, then just at the end of it says discussion and plan wire was wire would be installed, discussion was had about the wire and the plan. We want to put on there who got the bid. We made a motion to approve it.
I can go over and then.
So
That would
just
just before a motion was made.
add who got that bid.
Plus our electric. Conduct the work.
Need to award.
Yeah, need to award. Did our bid was awarded to. Plus our electric. And the amount of. Bid. Anything else?
One little thing, Seth, can we just put, didn't we have a discussion, we wanted to be consistent and put the year after every date? Above city administrator munit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
can we
don't
just
know
put the
if it'd be next-
2023?
We don't know if they've been for your city administrator when you're going to budget training. Since that's June 28th, maybe you should put 2023 so we know it's not next year. You did it in a special.
Yeah, it's on like, and the special,
You
It's
did it
in
on the
there.
special one. You did it on the fire department also.
Okay.
So you must have just missed that
I
one.
must, yep. Just missed something. Get the 99.
this looks really good, Seth.
Thank you. I did notice one other one that I made. I put a space for that Buster Electric quote, there's a space after that comma, so that it's
Oh.
19,000 space, $718.
Oh,
I know, it's not big, but it's still something.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
if there's no more further discussion, we get a motion to approve minutes.
I'll make a,
Go ahead.
I'll make an emotion to approve the full business.
Motion from Julie. You get a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Nick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. None. That's all I have for old business, unless anybody else has anything that you want to bring up on old business. Not, and get a motion to adjourn from old business.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
From Chad, second from Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. Old business. Right? Okay.
Trevor Bundy.
Here.
Chaz Foster.
Here.
Riley Amundson.
Here.
Matt Watnick.
Here.
Julie Lyon.
Here.
Joe Holscher.
Here.
Tyler Evans.
Here.
Tyler Evans, we're gonna have you do your, take your oath of office. Is that all done?
Right after the claim.
Do you want me to sign this? Yep, he said, or
Yeah.
do you have another one you want?
Just, I'll have you sign this one,
Okay.
and then. Cause that's the one we keep of all our stuff, so. Yeah.
You gotta read it out loud, Tyler.
For the record, there we go. I, Tyler Evans, having been appointed as a member of alderman for Ward 1 within the city and for the city of Colton, Minnehaha County, South Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of South Dakota, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform all the duties as provided by law.
Welcome, Tyler.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Now your stuff.
I'm stuck.
All right, move on, public time. Yeah.
Jack's not gonna make
Okay,
it.
we'll move on. Fire department. John or, no, okay.
Nobody? Okay.
Move on to sheriff's report. 70 hours.
I know you discussed that. Did you ever get anything from the, like, Blue Days, Blue Nights and all that?
No, that's still on the top of
Okay.
my list to talk to them.
Have you been able to get a hold of them at all?
I haven't even actually had a chance to.
Okay.
Keeps slipping my mind, and I'm like, oh, then I get caught up on other things, so I'll do that. Is there anything else that you guys want from them when I do call? I know the patrol time is the one thing that we want to talk about.
Yep,
The
I'd say,
description of the blue and yellow.
yeah, and then to see if we can have them set, maybe on the outskirts of town instead of setting
By KOP.
by Teope, because they all come in, that's where they set.
Well, I know we've gotten after a couple of the ball players, 'cause when ball games that are either hauling in, coming in fast, so we got a couple of them, had a talking with them, and they said, well, we don't slow down, then we're just gonna have a sheriff start sitting down here every night, so. But, well, speed bumps seem to help. What we
Good.
got.
If you do get a hold of the sheriff, you want to ask to see if we can get their portable sign,
Yeah.
maybe to where we can just
Yeah.
move it if
Well,
we,
because then, actually, I know that keeps record too.
does it?
It only goes one way.
That's fine.
So we gotta figure out what road we want it on and which way we want it to go.
Which one's the smoothest road?
Well, I just put it on this one for a week and then put it on
If we can
that
have
one
it
there for a week.
We can have it for 2 weeks.
Or even a month, 2 weeks at each place, and maybe a week each direction, to where you just flip it. That way you see how fast they're going out of town one week and how fast they come into town the next.
It's worth talking about, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna hurt to ask.
I can do that. All right. We can go back to public time if you have anything, Kathy.
Oh, just, I like the new City of Colton signs, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Cole was asking if we still had the old ones. I think I told him they got destroyed in that.
The one I dug out of the ditch, it's pretty rotten.
Yeah, I figured that. That's what I call them from that ratio. Come out. Destroyed them. Okay, move on. There's nothing to add. Going to Park and Recs.
Ball lights are in the left field. We'll get through Jubilee days here and get busing, get in there and get them wired up. So, we did have to move the two outfield lights where he had them positioned. The one in left field was actually in the field by 13 feet. So it was just off the fall line, but I said, that's not gonna work. We can't have that pole in the field. Someone's gonna run into it. So we had to move it 13 feet north outside the fence. So that might need some adjustment because that pole comes pre-adjusted or pre-aimed or whatever. So once they turn them on, they have a tool or a machine or something to do like a light steadier. And then if it's not right, then they can get a boom truck and they can adjust the lights. So that pole and then the one in the right field, it was supposed to be right in the middle of the gate. That's the only gate to get into that field. We can't do that. So we moved that one 10 feet to the north. So them two light poles, we're gonna have to, there may be some adjusting to do on that. But we won't know that until we can turn them on. Then we'll get that Paul will come up and, we'll do some investigating. So otherwise they went good.
Yeah, they look good up there.
The little hydrant by the ball field, west ball field was leaking, so I shut that water line down. So we'll probably have to replace that. I don't think we want to take it out.
No.
I don't.
Just a bad hydrant.
Hmm.
It's just a bad hydrant.
Well, the hydrant's working. It must be the line where it makes the connection must be cracked or whatever. So I just shut the valve in the pool, so it's dead now. The ball's winding down, but we should probably replace that this fall before next year. You guys are okay with that?
Yeah, no, it's, like I said, some of them kids used to get water and all that. There's really source water down that area, so I don't think we want to retire it.
And then I was just wondering on the last day of the pool, if we want to set that.
No, I haven't really set that date.
And when you do that, you should do like Sioux Falls and do the dog days.
Whatever you guys want to do, I don't care. You don't get sucked out anyway, so.
It's been brought up.
Well, no, like our pool managers have asked if they could keep it going longer after school starts and maybe just do a couple days on the weekends or like just open up in the weekends as long as they got staff. I don't know how you feel on that.
I think you're wasting money doing that. It's
Okay,
that
well,
pool
I
pump
know.
and the chemical it takes to keep that pool running.
It
Have it open a
is
day or two.
Thursday, August 17th.
I don't
Okay.
think it's.
So,
When do they start school?
August 17th.
Oh.
That's the first day of school.
Okay.
so I think we're leaving right up to the last day of school or
Do we go to
last day of
August
first day of
12th?
school. August 12th. So that Friday, the 11th.
Whatever you guys want to do.
Or do August 11th, give the lifeguards of the weekend before school?
I just want to know because when they close it, then I want to, unless we're going to use it for something else, I want to pump the water out of it.
Yeah.
Well, we could say that it's done August 11th, and then if the pool managers want to do something fun on that Saturday, that would be August 12th.
Well, because I know they still want to do that adult weekend, or not weekend, adult night at the pool.
I don't know anything about that.
That'd be that Saturday, then they could do that.
Oh, we gotta keep open that Saturday because that's the pool fundraisers.
Right.
Saturday.
No, yeah. Okay.
That'd be a kind of a cool way to end it too, though, I guess. I mean, would be the pool fundraiser would be the 12th.
I'm cool with whatever you guys want to do. I just, if you had a date in mind and that way I know that on that date or whatever I could
shut the pump on. But I need to
Excuse me,
know
thank you.
the amount of chemical I put in, and I want that to be about how we're
Because I know they want to do, there's a few people that asked about doing like another fundraiser, like an adult evening. I know Kathy would give a bartender, and we'd go off her liquor license and all that. We wouldn't have our pool staff up there or nothing like that. So, well, we have our pool staff, but no lifeguards. So we've already talked with the insurance and the lawyers, and it's possible if we wanted to do it. They have no concerns on it, so. It's up to you guys. You wanna do an adult evening?
Do you wanna do it the weekend before
Well-
the 12th then, or?
It don't matter to me, we just have to pick a
Or-
weekend.
Or be done on the 11th and then do the 12th for the,
Well, the 12th would be the fundraiser, and that one's gonna be family oriented.
Yeah.
So we won't do,
The 12th is out for the adult thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's gonna be driven towards fundraising for the pool.
okay.
So either
so
right
it'd be
to do
either the weekend before,
or the after.
otherwise they just
From
had
when
to
to when though?
Huh?
From when to, how long is the fundraiser? How late on the 12th?
on the 12th. I don't know, they're doing a bean bag tournament and
Okay.
then stuff
What
like that.
about that Friday night? Do the,
We could do it before.
We could do the adult thing on the 11th.
We'll just tell the lifeguards that if they wanna do it, or the pool staff, if they wanna do it. We have to have it done before the 12th, or let's just say
We
the
can
13th.
do it on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the 13th, so we'll just say you can close the pool the 14th. You guys are good with that?
So what do we do for announcement on like social media for last day of pool? The 12th? And then we'll do the adult night on the 13th?
If
Or the adult
if
day
if they don't wanna do the adult,
prior to
then we
that?
can just leave it open as a normal day on Sunday, and that'll just be our last day.
Okay.
So the
Sundays, the
13th.
13th is gonna be last day.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Pete will shut it down. So everything's in full swing for the team goal night for kickoff country days, so seems like we've got pretty good positive response back on that
And
about
that's Friday night.
Friday night. 8 to 11, so Jessica Sargent's gonna be chaperoning it.
Hmm.
So I'm like, cannot not have an adult up there on that one. So there will be, I'm sure, adult and probably another volunteer adult that wants to be up there, so.
Been going good. The pool's been good this year.
Yeah,
how's the, point of sale
bring that up.
website working out?
Really good. I like it because I can, like I said, moments notice. So we're at right now 1,502 visits this year, 250 paid members. And we're at 7,528 and 68 cents.
Are we using that for the sales of inventory and stuff like that?
Yep. So we're using it for like, that's not just membership. So sales summary, just in memberships, we have $3,500 in memberships this year, and then 100 and about 1,150 and just about 1,200, I guess, into guest fees. We got it set up. They got house fees and guest fees, so we're at guest fees were at 1,047, and then house fees were at 150.
What's house fees?
I can't remember what the house fees. What is that
The-
again?
Let me check.
Do you have any numbers from prior years
We do.
that we could just compare to just to see?
This year's the first year we.
But yeah, I think.
Yeah,
They-
I'm sure
they're
they're
not
they're
gonna
rough,
be.
but-
They're not broken down. So like right now, I can tell you right now, we sold 476 candies, which equals to $636. Sold 219 drinks, $294. Food sold 319 items at $495. Frozen snacks has been the biggest thing. 493, total sales of $1,006. So, yeah. And then it's nice because you can check in to see who's at the pool that day. So it not just only tells you how many people are there, you can go in and see
Who is there?
who is actually there. So you can tell if it's just full of a bunch of new guests or it's our,
Season,
typical
yeah.
season holders. So it's been kind of nice because I can tell it's without.
How's it working for ordering inventory, stuff like that?
That's still a hit or miss because that comes down to
Whoever inputs it.
and it keeps what we sell, but it doesn't. Right now, this year, they don't have it set up. They will for next year, where you can say, okay, you got 300 items of candy, and you take and blah blah blah, and then readjust it. It just tells you what you actually have or what you sold. So
Be interested to see what kind of profit margin will be by the end of the year, by the time you take your staffing, your chemicals, and overhead costs and everything out of there. You just kind of, well, and so be it, that's what we need to know.
but that's something that we can, like I said, it gives us something to build off of and expand it, treat it more like a business because
Well, it is a
now it is. And after doing this whole bus thing, I've learned a few things. I've had a lot of people and businesses that want to pay for seats, but I won't take it because I can't get any families in need. Then that's what they want to buy right off. So I can't take their money versus there are families that have already paid. And how do you do that? So I just said I'd hit them up next year. So I think my next year is to go after businesses and people that want to pay for it, and then so we can lower the cost on the bus because I think it scared a lot of families off because it will get expensive if you got 3 kids at $80 a piece. It adds up fast. So my goal was to try and keep it around that $30 per child, and so we can hopefully shoot for that. Maybe if you guys want to talk to Baltic and see if we want to expand it to Baltic at all next year too, if we can get
humble.
So
At least when I talked to the Baltic finance officer, she would seem down for going over and trying to get that all set up with us.
and then can't forget about Chester either.
Now, is there an option to maybe, like say Baltic, you only get 10 people that are interested? Is it possible to get a small bus to do that?
Yeah.
Is it possible to go like the Baltic and then Crooks and then come to the pool?
Yep. That'd be cheaper than doing 2 routes. So we just have to do the pickup,
Times, yep.
pickup times.
Also, the guest fee is babysitter passes,
Oh, okay. That's what the house fees are.
or babysitter passes.
Babysitter passes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that is.
the word from the pool staff is they like this check-in process. It's just easy. So just take last name and do quickly. So. Yep. Yeah. What else is there? Park.
Yeah, only for the.
Oh, yeah, that one, but I think there was something else I was gonna talk about on that. There was nothing pressing, but it was something to do with the pool, but. Okay, we can move on to clothing for the pool staff. The pool managers asked if it would be possible to buy some, like, they're looking at hoodies or something for the lifeguards. They just got me the number from Sign Design, it'd be about $28 a piece per hoodie.
How many are we looking at?
16 altogether, I think is what it was, with all our pool staff.
So $448.
Let me pull it up here.
For what?
448.
So if we just want to do the pool staff and not include Amber and Jessica, which are pool managers, it'd be 14. So
It's just 14. It'll be 392.
Mm.
It's just 14.
So, yeah, they said they range from $25 to $28 per sweatshirt.
Why do they want sweaters? Isn't it
I was
hot?
gonna say, can we offer maybe t-shirts?
Yeah, I don't know why they want sweaters. I don't know if it's,
Come August. I don't think it's gonna be that cold, otherwise the pool would be
Yeah.
closed.
It's on the days that it's cooler where
they're
they
not
would
open.
need a hoodie, they're probably.
The only thing I would say is those, what are the UV long sleeve shirts? Would be the one thing I would
Kinda
wear.
That's
Yeah,
not a bad
wears-
idea at all. Yeah.
Is that safe to jump into the pool with that weight of material on?
I don't know if they want to necessarily, I'd have to see, and I wish Jessica was gonna come, but then she had Cub Scouts tonight, so she couldn't come. So they were gonna give her whole reasoning why, so.
Well, they're $12.74 this week on Amazon Prime because I've been looking because we're going to Niobrara and I want a long sleeve one. So I know that.
We can table it too. So, you can actually see why they want,
Well, if we table
Well,
it.
it's- yeah, it's gonna be-
Over with.
yeah, but I mean, it's gonna be over with regardless,
Yeah,
by the time they get them made.
so do we just table it for a conversation for the welcome back gift for
Yeah.
next year?
We can do that. So if you come back, we'll give you. I don't know, if maybe it's the lifeguards that are requesting the hoodies, I have no idea. So. It just got brought up to us on Friday. That's what they would like.
I'd like to hear the justifications
I
for it.
would,
I
yeah,
think, I mean, that's almost $30 a hoodie.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I feel like it's maybe a little steep. I'd be curious on how often they're gonna wear it. Are they planning on wearing it for the pool?
Jessica, say any more to you on that?
No, I haven't talked to Jessica.
We'll just hold on that then. Okay, move on. Public Works.
I don't have much. City signs are up like you guys saw. I love the colors. I think they look really, really sharp. So, kind of catch your eye when you drive by them. I think they look good.
Yeah.
Anything else? You guys got anything for us? Jubilee is coming up.
How did water main fix go?
Oh, that was a nightmare.
I said I drove by there a couple times, see you're pretty busy.
That was a nightmare. Freaking, the water line was underneath the gas line. And so the second or the third pull we did with the bucket, we caught a 3-phase power line underground. Didn't know it was there. That thing freaking woof. So apparently the lumberyard, when they built this shed over here, they ran power from that shed to that shed through the alley. Didn't tell anybody. Dug right through it. It's just a good thing I wasn't touching the machine when he's there. I'd be dead. That's serious. Being just a private utility, the locators can't locate it. So yeah, that is a nightmare. But it was a plastic tee that was cracked on the line, 2-inch poly line. So we got her fixed.
Good deal.
Did you draw that out, like on the maps, you know where that line's at
Yeah.
now? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I do remember Mike saying something about that when we had to dig up back there for something else.
Well, she just did something to me when I was flagging it. And he walked by and just like, oh, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, we got a water main here. Leaking. Oh, okay.
On your way.
Probably forgot all about it.
Well, we got her. Is the Jubilee people coming in tonight, or
I don't know if they're coming in tonight or
just
not.
wondering what they need from us?
I don't think they need much from us. I think they get, we got porta potties up there. That's one good.
Assuming they're gonna want some porta potties out the tractor pull,
Yep. We can
trash
find some,
cans.
some up there. One on Main Street again. Just for the parade. No, that's going down.
Anything else you can think of?
So you guys can think of anything that needs to be addressed here? I think we'll throw those speed bumps out again around the third.
What about the bleachers? Did they even use them last year, you know?
Well, yeah, I think Jake wanted those back again as well.
Did we end up getting like the slow signs that you could put out in the road too, or just the speed bumps?
Well, we just got those cones with the children slow at play or
Yeah,
whatever.
I've got the cones with the signs that sit right in the cones and it says children playing, slow down or whatever.
Okay.
We can move them to wherever we want to put them.
But those speed bumps, they do work. But we ordered 4 because they're only 9 foot in length. Well, we thought, I'm like, well, we order 4, we'll do 2 on Park Avenue. So I figured by the time cars park, you know, but that didn't really work the way we thought. You must have to strip them because everyone just kept going around them.
Okay.
So we had to do that, and then
I was gonna say the one time I drove through when games are going on, it looked like there was just one of them out, you know, going north.
yeah,
You know, but there's cars on both sides of the road, so you couldn't swerve around them.
that's because I started putting them together, and then like 6th Street's too wide for 9 foot. Even if you had cars on both sides, they still find a way to get around it. So we'll just work with this, and I think next year we can order another 2 or something like that if we want to. But they do seem to. At that baseball tournament we had up here, it really helped. I watched a lot of cars just kind of good go over it. So it's a small price to pay for a kid not getting hit.
Oh,
So some
yeah.
kids.
Can I get some down my street?
I know. I thought about buying some for myself.
My corner too. And
You know,
I know
nails.
basketball, and then I ripped one guy out
Trevor,
of his front seat. one night.
I was out in Rapid, when we had the last meeting, they got speed humps out there.
Do they?
Yeah, it's like an 8-foot section that comes up about 4 inches.
Oh,
You know, I mean, it's just literally a huge hump in the road. I mean, it's part of the road. It just, you hit that too fast and it's,
well, Julie's got the opposite speed bump. You got the built-in ditch.
Yeah, we just sit out there and watch them. Boom!
A lot of them do it too.
And you got a good one.
Yeah, who was it that I heard here this summer accidentally hit it too hard and did a bunch of damage to it?
Really?
Yeah, someone that we know too.
Some of them people hit it hard, they freaking scraped their ground pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who it was. Well, you know that's fair. I know, but
So what is the process of adding a stop sign? Is there a lot to that?
There's not, I mean, you put a stop sign up.
You can
it's up to our city to do it.
Okay. Because there's been talks of possibly putting one right at my street corner on
Yeah.
Iowa coming from the south of the park, heading north.
Yeah.
Putting one there because we put one on, what is that? Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, I even noticed the one.
Because people, they just fly through that intersection. They don't even look.
I think it's every intersection. And to tell you the truth, I have a stop sign just down mine. And some people, it's a suggestion. They don't even.
Yeah.
They don't even act like it's not even.
They just look, and if there's no cars, they're just screw it.
Yeah.
So.
But if our cop wasn't just sitting at tail, he might catch some of those.
Exactly.
We did discuss stuff like that.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, whoever want to do, survey or something like that, looks at putting some signs up, just maybe slow it down a little bit, or
I mean, I don't fill the town with stop signs. But, I mean,
I don't think there's nothing wrong in having it like on 2nd and 4th, like some sort of either yield or stop signs on all those intersections.
Yep.
Letting 4th and 3rd kind of go through or alternate them or something.
Yep.
Every so often to slow it down, because the one is, I know it's the one going to the park. I mean, people use that as a highway sometime. Well, your road.
oh yeah. Yeah, they come down in front of my house. And half the time they're heading towards the park. They just
Yeah, I walk down
right
that
through,
way and.
right through the intersection all the time. And I've got a young kid, he likes to run. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we had a blue convertible Corvette here a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, I guess. He just flew through that stop sign.
Hit the bump by my house too, so.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, he
I
about,
hope
he about,
it
he about
didn't
hit
go wrong.
Quinn on her bike. And then I was like, okay, maybe that's enough. But he probably didn't even see her because then he got to the stop sign by DG and Classic and then just roasted tires and he just went flying out of town.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, it was almost more alarming because I'm like, he probably didn't even realize that she was even there.
Maybe that's, something we can bring up to the sheriff's department when they are in town. Less time sitting, more time
Just patrolling.
driving the streets. Just drive around.
Yeah, because I know they sit there.
Sit for a little bit to get,
It don't take long to figure out where the cops are in town and just avoid that whole area.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Maybe sit on the ends of towns when people are coming in for a little bit, but then just go cruise the streets. I don't know I don't know how much control of.
It's called complacency.
Speaking of the cops, it kind of pertains to the cops, but the repeater, has that been put up on the water tower yet?
No, that's kind of dead in the water right now.
Is it?
Did that fall through kind of now or what?
Kind of teeter-totter, so I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Will we hang on too long?
The sheriff being a sheriff.
Yeah, John just told me stories about.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into it.
Let's move on.
But so for right now, it's kind of at a standstill.
Who was paying for that?
It was gonna be the sheriff, the county. I don't know if the fire chiefs were gonna kick in some money for it, but it was more of the bigger funds on Sioux Falls to do it. But yeah, it's completely lost traction. So I don't know where it's gonna go. It's needed. I mean, we just out the last fire, the communication was terrible. Couldn't talk to the guy standing around the corner of the house because he couldn't get out of
Taylor, what
the
intersection are you at?
Fifth in Iowa.
It floors me that in an emergency situation, then people have the worst communication in the state of South Dakota. I can get on my personal radio and I can talk crystal clear in this whole area and not have any problems. I get on my fire radio and I have to hold my antenna just right. And if I go in a building, zero reception. So where do we do all our business? Inside.
In like emergency.
But unfortunately, someone's gonna have to get killed before they're gonna fund the proper repeaters for the fire departments. So,
I mean,
I hate to say that, but that's
Well, that's how it
What it
always
is.
gets to the top of the list.
They have walkie-talkie app, but I suppose you have to be on Minnehaha County.
we do have an app. I can talk on my phone just like I'm talking on my radio, but once I put my fire gloves on and stuff like that, I can't
You have to
use
be on
my
that.
phone.
Okay.
Because you get the bulky gloves and you're crawling around in the smoky area. Not gonna be able to use your phone because you won't be able to push any buttons on it.
is there a way we could talk to emergency management and see if they would help fund that?
Maybe you guys can. This new EM guy is.
He's all
The
police.
sheriff's running the EM more or less, so all that attention is going towards the deputies and the fire departments. We're getting nothing.
But the deputies are having the same communication
They
issues
are,
that
but they are.
the fire department has when it comes to this part of the county.
They are.
So,
But the funding is not going toward, for us, it's going the other direction. I don't know how to change that.
Maybe that's something, if you ever get a hold of
Sure.
the sheriff, bring that up too.
Mhm.
It's not only the safety of his guys while they're in town.
All the deputies out here, it's fire departments. And this area right here is the worst. I mean, if you get towards Hartford or Dells or Baltic, then it's way better. Communication's way better. It's just we're in like a little hole where the repeaters down by Wall Lake and there's a repeater over by Baltic and then there's a repeater in Madison and we're trying to hit all three of them and we're just not quite strong enough to get either one of them.
Who does that go through? Is that state radio?
But see, that system, when they built it, it was made for mobiles. So if we're sitting in the truck, we got all kinds of signal. We can talk crystal clear all the time. So it's our portables. Well, when we go to state radio, they're like, "Man, we didn't design that for your portable. We designed it for a mobile radio. A mobile radio puts out 45 watts of power. A portable radio puts out 5. So that's the problem is we're using a system that's not made for what we're trying to use it for.
What does state radio say about it? They're just waiting for it to get
This is
paid,
what you get.
but they would install the repeater, right?
Yeah.
So they're just waiting for somebody to buy it and they come out and install it.
Right.
Oh, Matt, crack a checkbook open.
Yeah, I don't get that kind of money.
Oh, yeah. We'll just have to sit on that and see if we can get traction at a later date. But there's a few other things going on in Sioux Falls with the dispatching and Sioux Falls Fire and how this is all gonna look with this regional dispatching and all this stuff with that new training site and all that. So see who comes out on top.
Does anybody else have anything for Public Works? Okay. Move on. City administration.
Just got in, my reimbursement request for the mileage for my trip to Pier and Sioux Falls for, Pier for the finance officer school and Pier for the budget training. So I
How
can
was
be
that,
Sioux Falls.
Seth?
It was good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Good.
Learned some new
You said
stuff.
there's quite a few new finance
There's
officers.
There's a crazy amount of new finance
Yeah.
officers because last year there was about 28, including myself, new, and this year there was about 30. And there's a lot of them who were from towns who were new last year. So there's, if you talk to a lot of them, there's a lot of turnover for finance officers.
How many hours did you put in out there?
It was, has it on my certificate, but I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll text it to you when I get home.
Yeah,
I'll take a
I was just
picture of
curious.
yeah. I'll take
Yeah.
a picture of my certificate and everything. I'll text it to you.
You already got it framed or what?
Yeah.
No, it's still just sitting in an envelope.
Frame, archive, registered at the courthouse.
Christmas cards.
It's on the wall. So.
Seth, I would make one adjustment. I would remove the word home and put Colton, South Dakota, and then you could put residence, just because there is a home, South Dakota. Leave it South Dakota. I just put Colton and then put finance officers, residence. You don't need to put your home address.
Yeah, you can make that.
Do we need to make a motion to approve these?
The total, as you can see, it will be $295.41. That's everything.
I'll make a motion to approve just with the minor adjustment.
I'll second it.
Motion from Riley, second from Matt. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. There's one thing I do kind of want to address, not with you, so sorry. I'm going kind of back.
Absolutely.
Public Works, I was gonna get off topic. If you guys are out and about, I've had this, Pete and I have had this conversation too. It's not necessarily Golden West, it's North Central when they came and did that fiber optic. Kind of looked for where they did all their work. Some of the spots that they're supposed to put back in order are not back in order. So you can write down the addresses and locations on where those are at. I've been kind of, Pete and I know 2 locations right now where there's still orange pipes sticking out of the ground.
Yeah, I know a couple houses that still have.
Your place?
My house, yeah.
Um,
I'm just gonna take
I
the
know,
axle out there and cut it off.
I'm kind of, I've already talked to him once before, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna come back, and blah, blah, blah. Well, that was, what, probably 2:30.
They're working out there today.
They are still back.
Yeah,
in
right
the-
next to Bunger's, that gal to the,
Well, and I think they're pulling the actual wire now though.
because they got her yard all dug up.
Well, that's, they.
Oh, that they hit
going
her.
Through her service, our sewer line, and they dug it up and fixed it. And
Really?
she called me here 2 days ago and said, hey, my sewer's not working. I'm like, "Oh, get it cambered. I mean, you're gonna have to see if it's what they did or if it's something else, because I've seen it where it can be something else. So she cambered it for $300 or whatever, and where they put their connection on it. It must have, when they backfilled the hole, it must have tamped too hard on the pipe and it pushed it down.
They didn't backfill and compact under the pipe first.
That, maybe they did, and maybe that's why it settled, but, so now they're back out there again.
So you guys can give me a list of addresses and all that. I know I'm gonna call him back here in probably at least a week and a half, and ask him if he's coming back. And I know probably the answer's gonna be, well, we're done. Do you got a list of addresses? And, yeah, I got a list.
I would go, no, we're not done. You
No.
need to come back in and finish your
Well,
project.
I'm kind of not happy on how some of it's put back together. I've seen, you know, their service boxes, a lot of them are just cockeyed and, you know, not even put in there nice. They removed all the black dirt, and I think they put black dirt in first, now we got all clay. All that's gonna do is just start bringing weeds in.
Mhm.
And
Or-
He told me that we're gonna hydro seed. They spread out seed at the beginning, and then whatever it took, they were gonna leave, and then if nothing took, then they were gonna come back and hydro seed. Well, up the park, all that stuff, all that did is just wash down. Now we got ruts and stuff like that. So,
Or is it something we need to contact Golden West and have them come up and go, this is what your contractors are doing, and make Golden West nip the contractors and
well, we've already had one conversation with. I had one conversation with the project manager of Golden West because they had one. No, it's a sub of North Central. It's not North Central, but they had one sub steel, something out of a neighbor's yard. So
Do we create something online that people can submit a request form for it to be reviewed? Instead of
throw something
waiting,
on the website or
yeah,
something.
instead of depending on us seeing it, maybe there's people that have grievances.
well, and I thought about giving them one more shot of, hey, you come back through town.
Right,
Just
maybe
right.
we could give them a map of where to go, if those
Well.
people would wanna.
Let's just jump in the Ranger and we'll drive a couple of spots. I mean, it's kind of all over town, if you ask me.
Mhm. Well, one of the thing is there's a lot of these spots are in people's backyards where we can't see.
Well, ours is horrible. I mean, there's no chance, all the top of ours is all clay. There's no chance there's any grass.
Yeah, and that's not your fault. Then you have to go, because now you're gonna be fighting weeds and now we're coming out of the end of the.
They almost need to take like 3 inches out of there and put black dirt in.
I don't know what they gotta do, but we don't have a prayer to have any grass back there.
Well, and you don't dare have them seed this year, because we're pretty much out to seed.
You can seed yet this fall, just,
Fall seeded.
yeah.
All seeded.
Yeah. You're about at that point, though, if you seed now, you're pretty much gonna kill, it's gonna grow, but then it's
Too
gonna.
hot. Unless you're gonna water
You're
it
gonna
twice
water
a day.
Big time this heat.
So
I just figured if we did something online, people would feel like their voices are being heard.
we can set up
I would set up something and then post it on our message board.
do you
I would
Do you
keep
feel
it
comfortable making a form, or do you want one of us to help you make a form?
If you wanna help me form, yeah, cause I'll do the back end work for trying to get it so you can submit it, if you guys wanna just give me a form.
I would leave it pretty controlled, so it's just not a rant session. I'd leave it more of like selective answers, like front of the yard, back, front yard, side
I
yard,
agree.
back.
Yep.
I would put what their grievance is. Is it the digging up, the grass? I mean, allow it to be multiple choice, but I would control it a little bit. Plus, that'll give us an ability to give them more of concrete answers versus a bunch of comments and words. We can give them a map of here's, we have 15 residents. 15 residents have this, this, and this. We've got 12 residents have this, this, and this.
Another one to add on there too is there's a box that was put in just across my street, kind of in the alleyway in between Larry and Diane's and
Yeah.
Jason Eggers. Well, they took his property pin out and put the box right there. So,
So
I know he's
You
been,
took the pin out?
they took the pin out, they dug it up, and it's
Do that, couldn't they?
gone. So, and he's been upset about it, and I think he's been trying to contact them, but I don't know where he's got with that, but maybe that needs to be brought up with the,
We'll contact that from Brent from North Central.
Yeah.
What's his name?
yeah, because technically they should have it surveyed and a new pin put in.
correct, well, technically that they would have to move the box.
Yeah.
So, part of it's in the easement, and part of it's,
In the easement, it shouldn't even be where the pin is.
correct. Part of it's in his property, inside his property line, and the other part of it's in the easement, so it's probably gonna have to get completely moved.
So is that on the city for us to follow them?
Well, maybe we'll gather this information and maybe set up a meeting with North Central and Golden West and we should have a post-construction meeting.
You
They
would
don't
hope.
care. They popped a,
Well, I know Golden West does.
they don't, because I had to fight them. They popped a orange thing right up where they didn't have easements or any rights to.
Yeah.
Up. And I had to send the guy back and say, make it be gone. And so he just covered it. And I said, cap it off, dude. You didn't even cap off the line. You just cut it and buried it.
Well, see,
So I made him dig it back
that's
up.
not Golden West, that's North Central. Doing that.
It's their lines.
Yeah, it's
Contracted.
but Golden West hired these guys to do it. So I've talked to Golden West and they're really particular that they want, well, we did that pre-construction meeting and they were very adamant that everything gets put back to what the customer or the homeowner has, and if it's not up to their likings, you make it right.
They're pretty strict about that when
Yeah.
they said it. They meant it.
Well, the guy running with the other company is a little troll.
So that's why I'm just saying that we kind of put that out there. But would you have time, or anybody have time to set us up and kind of do a little junction of questions?
Sure.
I mean, you got all that free time,
Yeah.
or just put a
Otherwise,
quick,
I can come here early
or just
tomorrow and
text
do
a
it.
couple
With you.
inputs that you'd want, and we can form it, that you think,
Yeah, whatever works. I can do both.
or if anybody else wants to help on it. So
Yeah, if you have time to start on them, then I'll come in early. I got another meeting here tomorrow night, so.
just put your
My
input,
husband
and I'm not asking you to.
Thanks for keeping us on,
You're welcome.
keeping our
Do
schedule
that
honest.
meeting tomorrow night.
Jess.
Was that
Meeting tomorrow night?
He goes, I have a meeting here tomorrow night. And I said, so that means my husband does? And he goes, yep. He needs a calendar and
Oh.
that Chaz.
And then one more thing, can you contact that company, or, I know you sent it to me, but I think I lost it. For the liner of the pool, we wanna get rolling on that.
You want the one out of Sioux City that we
Yeah.
worked with before?
Yeah,
I think it was out of Sioux
do
City.
you would you rather contact them, Pete, and meet up with them?
I can, yeah.
It was a company out of Sioux City is who we worked with before.
You can send that to Pete, cause
Yeah,
we
I
wanna
can send
fill
it
out
over.
that, there's a grant with Game Fish and Parks, so they'll pay for half that liner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the one that Burbach Aquatics recommended to us. So I'll send it over here.
Perfect.
And then whenever, I guess the probably best time is when you drain the pool. We can come up there and get measurements. So, and then follow up with that GFP, what's his name? When we did that walkthrough. Remember his name and so forth.
Oh, Randy.
Yeah, Randy.
Mhm.
Ask him when that application date is.
Yeah, I got his email. I'll email him.
Is that like a rubber liner then? Just to line
We'll
it
have
up?
to see what this, I don't know what these commercial ones are, or,
It's not, he said, it's, I don't know if it's a rubber, it's similar to whatever, I think it's Garrettson did it. And it's like a 15-year guarantee.
just that epoxy isn't necessarily holding up.
Right,
No,
this is
it's-
more of, I think this is more of like a membrane.
Yeah, it covers the whole.
Yeah,
area.
yeah.
And I think that's something that, like I told Pete, and I'm not saying he's not doing that, just maybe we're not supposed to drain the water out of the pool. I don't know either.
That'd be a question for them.
I know you probably won't do it with the liner, because we never did in our family pool, we had a liner. Because we drained it one year, and then that shrunk.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so you gotta keep it in there, so it keeps.
How do we get all the garbage out of the bottom of the pool? Like
So we had a
every-
net, we had a net
You had a cover.
a net cover. And They just ran with them and they just shocked the pool. You got the water in there, you didn't drain the water, you just shocked the pool.
You just drain it below.
You drained, you mean you took a little bit of water out, you didn't completely drain it?
Take almost everything out to the low end, 'cause that's where the low point drains are, to drain all the pipes out.
I mean, you could always, you could drain it if you wanted to, but I'm just wondering if,
I'm just wondering about the bricks and the rocks and it's a full payloader bucket of like slime, leaves.
well,
that
we could probably,
carry out of there with 5-gallon pails every year.
yeah.
But there'll be bricks in there, rocks in there. I mean, the kids throw whatever they can get in their hands in the pool. Just wondering how we get all that material out of there if we don't drain it.
Yeah. That's what,
But
the only reason I'm just saying this, because I'm just wondering if that fluctuation of extreme cold to warm days is, if that's what's breaking up that. Instead of saying just a constant temperature.
Right.
I don't know, and I might just be wrong, but.
You're qualified to wear an SCBA, aren't you?
not underwater.
Scuba diving, SCBA, same thing.
I can do it all day long above water.
Fire training, you guys can go and look for rocks. Practice for a drowning.
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll move on. Okay, we'll move on to money. You want anything, Doug, for the fire?
Oh, you started recording that? I did. Okay. I'm ahead and I'm starting now, right?
Yeah.
Monty Coogan, representing the fire department. I had 2 fire calls and 3 EMS calls in the last month. Getting ready for Country Days celebration. Got a countywide training coming up. We're planning that for sometime in August. Countywide department, so it'll be kind of a hodgepodge of hazardous materials, water movement, some EMS stuff. So I look forward to that going on. Any questions for us?
Was there any
Oh, good.
rescheduling of that meeting, the disaster meeting that we were gonna?
I don't think it's scheduled yet. As far as I know, I'm waiting for the director to get back to me. Within the next 30 days is my request.
And it'll be at the beginning part of the week.
Yeah,
Whatever day,
have it,
it'll
yeah.
start at the beginning part of the week, so it'll be like Monday through Wednesday. Well, we won't get like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Actually hoping it comes in August now after Country Days.
Yeah.
Activity level picks up for the next 3 weeks. So.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
Well, I know you guys got a lot of positive feedback for being present at that fall tournament. Just being there.
I think we can build on that, but if we do more of them, I think we're just dealing with a tough weekend for everything. It ended up being a busy weekend, but so we're there, enjoyed it.
You got a few come and stop and talk to you. Good. When you had one jam singer and
We got stuff on our plate or something like that, yeah. Got the ball in the head, yeah.
and then you guys just left after that little girl that smoked. And the whole tournament was done. Everybody was leaving. The little girl
I didn't hear about that one.
got her brother practice swinging.
Oh,
Full swing.
Practice swinging at the end of the tournament.
Yeah, they were just standing around talking.
Sure.
And they loaded her up and hauled her out. Hauled her through the, oh, she was bleeding.
Yeah, I never heard about that.
Heather, my wife's still there, and that's, we can call them back. And they just, well, we're going. We are. So she's over. So
Yes, any other questions?
Yeah, so and maybe I'm wrong, the fire hydrant that you put out of commission, is the fire department aware of that? 'Cause if I lived by a fire hydrant that was put out of commission, I would be worried. You're aware of that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that's all.
I got one thing for Public Works once he's done, if you're done.
You bet.
I was just looking through here. I didn't see that, that flyer that Howard gave me for those speed limit signs.
yeah, because we're gonna do that when it comes budget time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so, yep. We're gonna start spending the money as he's doing budget or starting to work on budget.
So we don't have the money this year, but what we could do is we could go over and ordered it in December of this year, and we just paid it next year, and then we can still get that discount, like what you were saying. That's how we could do it and make it work, because we don't have the funds for it.
Okay, nope,
Budgeted
I was
for it,
just
you know.
curious.
I was-
Pretty hard to put in December though on the ground.
I know, no, yeah,
But they can be mounted to light poles or other speed, like other signs.
Oh, can they?
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah, because I believe Howard has one mounted to a light pole. And then a couple other just to normal sign bases. Because I believe they just strap on or bolt on.
And then, while we're talking about budget, to move on, it's nothing we have to talk about right now. I did tell Pete to start getting a budget together for a new city pickup, if it's a used or new. We're trying to look, the one that we have now is creating a lot of issues, so.
What year is that one?
2003.
I was gonna say, I figured it was an early
He has to have
2000s.
a kill switch put in, because otherwise, if he doesn't hit the kill
There's
switch.
a whole list of stuff. I had to bring it in because there's a draw, something's drawing when it sits at night. So when I park it at night, in the morning, the battery's dead. So they did a bunch of investigating, couldn't figure it out. So we ended up just putting a solenoid on the battery with a little switch, rocker switch in the cab. So we just cut the battery at night, stop that. But it needs new spark plugs, spark plug wires, the front bracket, what do you call it, steering
Rack and pinion.
Pinion's loose. All the tie rod ends are loose. It's just, it was like $3,500 just for all that. I'm like, this truck ain't even worth 15. So I told him to put that switch on. I had him, the electric fan motor that cools the radiator wasn't working, so they put a new motor on that. And then there's one other thing. There's three things they did.
Well, the AC wasn't.
Oh, the AC, they charged the AC. So I just had them do what needed to be done, and I said, don't do anything else. Just leave it alone. So
So how do we go about that type of purchase then? Do we just bring in?
Well, we're gonna have to budget for it, and then have Seth probably, he can pull out of different departments for it, since.
yeah, because it's used for everything. It's used for
Everything.
water, it's used for sewer, it's used for
So-
park, it's used for,
So
it can,
we just need to figure out which route is gonna be the most possible. I mean,
Say, what kind of pickup would you want?
That's
Do you
what
want a
I'm-
3/4 ton? You
well,
want
I want a utility body is what I think.
gas,
I want-
diesel?
I want to be able to put my tools in
Right.
spots. so I
That's
have to-
kind of what I was alluding
Stack
to
them on
is
top of
if you're
each
gonna
other,
purchase
you know.
something, let's get something that's gonna be usable for
yeah,
all the
So-
departments.
I don't know if we necessarily need to go diesel.
I don't want a diesel.
No?
If we- 'cause we
I'm
gotta
No.
deal with it during the winter
Parking
time.
around Colton,
You'd be a mission nightmare.
never get that truck to warm up. You gotta drive a diesel to get it.
The question is can you get by with a 1/2 ton utility box, or would you rather have the 3/4 ton utility?
I talked to North Central, Crooks exit.
Mhm.
I need an 8-foot utility box because all my water wrenches are 8 feet. And he said that a 3/4 or a 1.5 ton would be too light with the utility body. So he recommended a 3/4 ton, but I don't know.
I know we talked to Rosenbauer to see what they had, just for like a truck sitting around.
The problem I'm having is there's these used pickups for a truck, $40,000 truck. It's got like 150,000 miles on it.
That's why we're exploring the option.
So-
Maybe it's just better to go new.
Boyer has a brand new one, Ford 3/4 ton, 8-foot box, utility body already on it. Extended cab for 62 with 0 miles on it. So, I don't know. I don't need a new pickup, but we gotta look at the front, what's.
We gotta
Right thing.
get something different. Cause I mean, I noticed you a couple times using your own personal truck to run your Sioux Falls, cause don't wanna take the city truck to Sioux Falls, so.
If you pull a trailer or something too, it'd be nice to have
I
a
use-
3/4
I use
ton.
my pickup when I do all that.
Right, but you shouldn't have to, so.
No. So we just gotta explore the options of how we wanna purchase a new vehicle. If we wanna purchase a new vehicle, I don't think we would apply for it, cause we probably don't have a big enough fleet if we can even lease anything, but
I don't like the lease option, cause then you're moving in and out of a vehicle.
Well,
every
and that's
2
just,
years,
it. That's
and
just it.
take everything out, and then the next one, you don't get it like a home for everything, you know?
No.
I mean, we could look at the leasing and then the buyout with it, with the intent of buyout.
That would be. Yeah.
Boyer has some pretty good programs out there.
I was gonna say, I think looking at that lease with the buyout might be it would allow us to control paying for it over a period of time, and then we can work on the budget on this backside. We can keep the pool, the kitty running and build up that pool, so then when it's the buyout time, we can buy it out. So the intention all along is to own it, but would give us the period of time to control the payments.
Yeah.
Cause it doesn't sound like,
We don't, like Pete and I, we don't need anything special. I mean, we need rubber floors and
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
hot seats. I mean, we're not,
You need the economic, yeah.
we're,
Yeah, we don't need
you don't need no sunroof.
If I could find a nice used vehicle with low miles.
You mean you don't want the King Ranch or the Longhorn edition?
I don't.
Well, I have a really
I didn't
nice
even have that in
Lariat
my personal
with
thing.
low miles.
It's a matter of preference for brand.
I like Ford, but I mean, it's all about the dollar.
Yeah.
It ain't about what you
So
like.
if we can get the budget together, and figure out what we can.
I gotta wonder what the state contract would be, because the city should be able to fall off the state contract, county does.
It's gotta have an 8-foot box. I would like an extended cab cause I put all my files and stuff behind it.
Mhm.
So them two,
We don't want to crew cab.
and then
No,
a
no,
utility body, even if it's got a box, we can get a utility body anywhere. They're everywhere. So, you know, but
yeah, like I said, he doesn't want a crew cab though.
Yeah, he just wants the 4-door,
Yeah.
not the crew.
yeah, just a half door. Or not
Yeah.
full door.
It's the little
The short
mini,
little-
yeah.
so who's owning, calling and finding dealers and all of that? Is that something you're doing,
I
Pete?
can, yeah, I haven't. I've
So
been
we have
just
some
looking
options
online.
to
I
look at
haven't-
before something's
I haven't
purchased,
got after it.
We won't do anything until after the budget's done,
right?
or see what we can even do first. And how to make the numbers work on it.
And I can talk to Boyer.
And hopefully by that time, maybe the prices of vehicles will.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
where we can, I mean, if we can't make it work with the budget, like without putting ourselves in a tight spot,
Right.
that's why the lease to buyout's an option, because then you're budgeting for a lease payment for maybe a year or two, and then we can make the full lump sum payment.
Or even 3.
Right, so
Well,
that's, so it also,
December budget.
Budget goes up till December.
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
just-
we need, budget needs to be done, by November,
Yeah.
or, but so I'm hoping to have the first draft done by August, but that's
Right.
mighty ambitious though, cause
I'm just
it's
saying,
a,
I mean, we could definitely start getting some estimates
well,
Yeah,
that's
of
why
what it's gonna cost. So
'Cause if
now,
I got-
over the
yeah,
course
'cause
of the
then I
next
can-
few
I
months
think we
here.
need to know what we're dealing with.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Yep. So,
Yeah, because that's a hard thing. I mean, are we gonna be stuck with 30? I mean, we're gonna have to find something 30,000, or we make it work, like I said, with the lease, and then we can buy it out afterwards. You know, so.
right, it's like we almost need to do all the bids and stuff first before we even, because how are we gonna shimmy the numbers of the budget if we don't know what we're looking for?
So exactly. The other side of it is if you buy a brand new pickup for say 60,000, do you have to go out for bid for that, or can you just buy that?
That's what my other question was. So the lease to buyout option, is that something where we're getting around that? Not saying we need to get around it, but
What, isn't it like 25,000? Is that
they've jumped it up to 50.
50?
It's starting, July 1, and it's 50 now.
Well, which one hurt if we could put on a couple dealerships to
state bid though. We would have to take
separate bid?
Well, yeah, if you did state bid, then you wouldn't matter.
right. So
Yeah,
that was where I was wondering with the lease to buyout, is that a better option for
So
us?
if you lease it for 2 years or 3 years.
3 years.
It'd be way under 50 to buy out. The buyout would be, so then you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering if that's an option. I don't know if we can, but if not, then yeah, we're gonna be over the cap.
I can try to get a hold of a few people through the state.
Okay.
See what they say. I mean, it's just, doesn't matter the color.
I don't know.
Pink. Pink all the way.
Fuchsia.
Nice hot
If you
pink.
bought it, I
Yeah.
Well, let's have Labor Rapid.
Wouldn't bother me at all. As long as it starts in the morning, that can storm into the.
No, I jumped in that truck to move it and I'm like, holy crap, Pete.
Pete,
One
if
side
you
to
call-
seat.
If you call Boyer, Kurt's a good family friend of ours.
Is he?
He's a salesman there.
Okay.
Let him know you knows me and tell him that
I don't know how I let him know he knows you. Price might go up.
that was.
Perfect.
Yeah, that driver's seat, there's no seat left on
There
that.
is, it- no, it's pretty much.
The left seat's gone. All right, we can move on to claims.
Good truck, I haven't heard anything on the alternator on it, the battery. No, couple first houses.
Just because this looks really unpleasing to the eye, Seth, do you know what all these computer softwares are?
Okay, with that, it's because, well, they stopped sending me invoices for them, and they were supposed to be mailing them because I talked to them. They stopped mailing. Yeah, I've only gotten a couple that were mailed, and then they were emailing them, but they weren't. I weren't getting them emailed. So I talked to them the other day because they called and was like, "Hey, you got a bunch of outstanding invoices," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? I've only got these are the ones we've paid are the ones I've gotten," and they sent so they went over and sent that all over. So that's basically from January to now.
Well, my question is how come the invoice numbers are they're in sets of threes?
Because that's because
He's dividing them
I'm
out.
dividing them out between the water, sewer, and general fund
Okay.
because we use the software
Alright,
for
that's
the
fine.
water,
Yep,
sewer, and
yep.
general.
That makes sense. Then.
That's a good question. And then it's not just one fund getting
Right.
taking this huge hit, you know.
Is there something that, from an audit perspective, you need to put in here so that when we look back on this, if someone
I
was to
can
look-
make some notes in there and be like that it was they stopped sending
I was
the
gonna say, 'cause
invoices.
this just seems really alarming to look at that. It just isn't pleasing. I just wonder if we can put a note or something so
Yeah,
that
there's
if
no-
you
I
look
can-
back on that, you know what happened.
Yep.
Because you only get for the three invoices, two of the payments are the same amount and stuff. So just from somebody that walks in here, looks at them, doesn't know you're spreading it through three accounts. You're gonna say,
Mhm.
what's going on? It's all the same invoice number,
Mhm.
same payment.
Yeah, I can go. I'll put the notes in there that they just stopped sending them because I talked to them and they're going to get that fixed. So I'm going to actually get the physical ones again. So
I got a few questions I noted. The $25,000 for the economic development group, so second half,
yep, that was because we
was that voted for?
last year.
Last
That
year,
was-
last year we gave,
They-
we allowed 50,000, but we're only doing 25, so we're not even doing the full 50 that we allowed it for.
You
'Cause we get-
already did 25.
Yeah, this is the second half of that
Yeah.
50.
Yeah,
Because
from my perspective, I have an issue with that because nobody sees where the first 25,000 went. And that was discussed at that first 25,000. We're literally trying to get Pete a vehicle he can do city business in. And we're sweeping money to a private entity that we don't even know where the first 25 was spent on. You had discussed possibly being more transparent
Yeah.
on where your money was being spent because it's going private. I think I have budget, and unless I'm dumb, we already look like we don't have enough money for this year. We can't get Pete a vehicle that he can function, but we're sending money over to a private entity. I have an issue with that big time. Because where'd the first 25 go, and why do you need more?
First 25 is in the land payment. The purchase of the land.
I thought the land was being purchased as they went.
That's what I thought.
You just don't get to pay every month for it.
This is where transparency needs to be made, I think. Because it was, to my understanding, you only made payments as you were selling properties. That was my understanding.
We gotta pay, we're paying interest every month on that
We're-
property, on that loan, but we're not paying for actual payments for the loan.
Okay, so the farmer farming it, is he paying us
Cash
rent?
Yep. So he's paying, we got 18,000. We got coming this year.
Item on, description of
Of what?
Yeah,
where
just
those monies went
where
to.
the money went to.
just so we, have an idea of what that payment was for and what they used it for.
Can't afford signs, we can't afford trucks, but we can afford to just keep sweeping money over to something that eventually, if there's a profit margin, the city will never see back. I think if anything, you guys should take it as a
The
loan.
city's going to see that back. I mean,
Then
The city's got to make
Where's the
that,
loan agreement?
the loan agreement. The
This-
development group
The
owns that.
development group should have a loan agreement with the city of Colton, as far as I'm concerned. If you're borrowing the money with intention of paying back, there shouldn't be an agreement between the private entity and the city of Colton.
The development group isn't borrowing any money from the city.
Just say
Every-
you're gonna
every-
pay back.
Well, you'll get the money back in real estate property tax. I mean, the city's got to make their investment in their community.
The
I mean,
276 houses in this town are making all of the investment, all of these grants, everything you guys are forking money into, we are footing the bill
I know,
on
but
that.
if we don't get going, we're gonna go the opposite direction, and we're not going to, I mean, you have to build, I mean, everything's it keeps getting expensive, we can't keep doing it with just the houses that we have now and the residents that we have now.
Well, that's why developers come in, and the developers,
So good luck getting a developer to get started.
I don't
that's
like
how it
putting
works
the bill
everywhere.
for it.
And Helen, you can get some most likely to sit in we've done enough of these developments and sat on there. It is tough. I mean, we talked to Van Dusker and getting up here, they're ran thin and Crooks right now, but City of Crooks had Van Busker's come in and develop that. I mean, they still every city pays for it in some way or other, these smaller communities. Now, Sioux Falls is an exception to the rule. Now, Lennox, yeah, that's why the development groups get going. They got to get the ball going. Once the ball going, now Lennox they just have to maintain. Now they can keep building and building and building on other things. But now they truly have developers coming in because now the ball's rolling.
I live in the new development, the old new development. The city ran water and sewer.
Yep.
That was it. The people who wanted to develop that land put the bill on everything else. They took all the risk. I can't wrap my head around why we think we are developers when we are not. We're city.
We're just trying to get the ball rolling to the point where
But
we,
nobody put the bill for where I was, or for where I'm at.
at some point in time, what do you mean no one flipped the
They
bill?
ran water and sewer and that was it. That was it. That was all the city foot the bill on that whole
City
development.
had land though too.
Huh?
The city had land, the developers developed it.
That wasn't city owned.
I'm pretty sure that was,
No,
wasn't it?
I have no
No,
idea
it
if
was
that
not
was or
city
not.
owned. It was owned by Pony House Development. They bought the land. The Bossmans bought part of it. Greg Hansen owned the other part of it. The city foot the bill on running water and sewer. Those guys had to cover and incur all of the other costs.
So,
I think it should be listed as an investment
well.
I mean, to
that's where
clarify
the city
on
has to
here,
invest in-
because
in-
we're investing in, everything.
Yeah.
We've got the land, we're gonna get money back on the land,
the,
and then we're
the
gonna do the
the
lots.
actual city's gonna get return on the land.
Well, no, the city won't.
No,
necessarily-
on the crops right now, that it'll bring an investment back to that, the way I understood it. Am I not right?
Yeah, and the development board to keep going, and once they break ground, then, yeah, then.
So currently the development group owns that land.
Yes. I mean, if you guys got a better way of trying to figure out how to get the ball rolling and get, some new houses in. I mean, you can go and talk to the developers and all that you want.
So, just a thought here. So instead of us, like Kathleen kind of mentioned, us maybe sliding the money over to this group, is there a way we could do like a request process? They can request the second half from us, because when we decided to offer that set aside money, we discussed as a group. I don't remember who was all at the table, but when we had originally offered it to them, it was the first 25. And then when it was the evaluation time for that second set of the 25, we were going to get some type of, whether it was a State of the Union, where they're sitting, we would see budgetary numbers. We could get essentially a request form, because right now, are we just offering it to, think of not being at the table with them, but are we just giving it to them? Maybe they don't need the full 25. Can they do some type of a request to us, give us a State of the Union update, where they're at, where they're going, what 6 months looks like? And then we could determine at that point if the $25,000 is practical right now, or do they maybe need half now, maybe half in 6 months? Like, what can we do so we have more of a foundation behind where that $25,000 is going, how it's being used, so that we can
And-
justify.
We can't
this.
renege on it though, because we already voted on it, that we would give them the money.
And we're not
So,
even giving them the full 50.
we would be.
Took 25.
Yeah, you already took 25 and this would be the second 25, so that'd be 50.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. But
And I'm not saying we're gonna take back what we committed to them, but I do think we need a little bit more understanding of where it's going, how it's being used, especially if we have citizens that are concerned where this money is going. Is it just getting passed over and then we're not seeing anything?
Yep.
I think
Well-
maybe that's a way where we can balance both sides of the table.
Because if it completely fails, the city of Colton is out
50,000,
grand at this point. And at this
Well,
point,
well-
I know what my new development looked like. We didn't bring any new people into our new development.
Yeah.
And then, Joe bought up the rest of it.
Yeah.
We've got current Colton people that just built new over here.
Well, and I'm not saying that's not gonna happen with this new development. I think you're actually gonna probably have, we're going off topic, but I think you're gonna have current people upgrade to a newer home, and then you're probably gonna get younger families move into houses that are a little bit more affordable. Now.
yeah, I think like what you said, I think we just need it's an investment.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee. We knew that at the meeting when we voted on it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, let's just approach it, let's classify it as, we're invested in this, and the development committee can just say, for your investment with us, here is a, like you said, State of the Union address. And I think that
Well, we can ask for.
open on both sides. I mean, saying what's going on both sides.
No, we can ask the development group to do that.
Well, the taxpayers they have the right to know
Mhm.
what they're doing with their money
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think the transparency of this exchange is gonna be the best. So what do we do then from,
Can we just request it? I don't know.
what
you
do we
think,
do about
Janice?
these claims? Is that gonna be,
You think
I
as a
would
council, we should,
I would say
so
if
why is
that's
it
how you guys feel, we could get a thing from them, a claim, just make sure we know where the fund's going. If it should be feasible. I don't know why not.
I mean, you guys want a financial statement? Is that what you're asking from the development group?
I mean, it'd be nice because you guys got, I don't need to see where all the grants are going, but part of those grants came from the city. The city had to apply for all these grants too.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even, that's one topic on here is letting the development corporation be the new, because that's the whole thing, the state changes the rules again on SIPA funds. So they've been sitting, the development group has been sitting in limbo, waiting for the rules to change on this whole, because when we applied it last year, we were number 10 on the list, and it was a first come, first serve, and we were number 10. And then they went to legislation saying, well, does the housing authority even have is it legally right that the housing authority even has the right to disperse the money. So then it went to legislation, so then it sat through all legislation, and then they voted, yep, okay, now it's right. Yeah, the housing committee or the housing authority can disperse the funds. And then now they got, okay, yep, so now we're gonna go through the rules again. So then they went through all the rules committees and all that, change of director. So they had a new director, change of that. And I think we don't even have an application date yet, to this date yet. But I
Well, it's
think
because they approved it and then the no one vetoed it or whatever because
Well,
the
she's the one
wording
that-
was wrong or,
No, yeah.
yeah, she signed it
So
with the wording.
They're
yeah.
thinking the new application date is July 10th, maybe, but we haven't heard about when this application. So no one's even got any of this funding yet, and no one's really even applied yet because nothing's happened yet.
So back to this, I think what we all are kind of asking for is just a general update on just where they're at.
Yep.
And then I don't think we need to get their whole financials, but if we knew what they used our investment monies for, I think just an explanation of, okay, what did you use the first half for? And the second half, what is your intentions of using it?
I think
That'd
once
be
we
fair.
have that, then, I mean, I don't know if I'm comfortable with approving these claims with that 25,000 in it, just without this other section of what we're requesting.
We can remove the 25,000.
Just because again, it's just, I think as the
Well,
council do our due diligence.
Yeah, and the public should know where their tax dollars are going.
Yeah, correct. And I don't have a problem with that. I mean, there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing to hide in the development group, so we can ask for a statement on that and
I look,
we can hold it back.
I requested, when we were exchanging or supporting we requested that they come in and present to us and kind of give us an update and tell us where it's at. And I think this should not be treated any differently in the sense of if we're supporting it in the financial realm or we're doing an investment, then we do need some type of, especially when dollars exchange, some type of update.
I'm just gonna say, I mean, I strongly feel the city needs to help and show the support and invest in it also. too.
Yeah, and it was voted on before my time.
Yeah.
But I know if I would have been here, I would have requested that, how many houses are going in out there?
Well, 49 is the first start is what we're applying for, but a total of 102 altogether.
I would have requested a certain dollars amount of each lot sale come back to refund the current, brain fart, no.
Investment.
Yeah, the current investment will get paid back is what I would have requested,
Yeah.
what's $100 on a $70,000 lot? Or $50 at that matter, because by the time every lot is sold, the city would have made their 50,000 back.
I think this is
But
why with.
It's been voted on before my time, so I
Well,
can't
I'm
change
just gonna-
that.
Only thing I'm gonna say to that is by this all said and done, the development group would be lucky if they make money by the time we sell those lots. And that's not the goal of this whole thing is to grow our community to the point where necessarily we don't have to invest as much into it. We have to get the ball rolling somehow.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with getting the ball rolling. I understand that, but every civilian that has paid taxes in here
Yep.
is now funding this. And I don't know if that's necessarily right, because most of these other towns, a developer comes in, they buy the land, they develop it, and then they sell the lot to make profit.
If you're fortunate enough to have.
If your town is growing, I mean, I understand that.
You look at Harrisburg wasn't that, I mean, well, I guess I should take that back. Kelly Nielsen did start Harrisburg, but you look at Lennox has taken off like crazy now, but their development court put it in,
Yeah.
they started it.
I mean, I understand it, but like I said, I mean,
Yeah, no, and I get ya.
it's voted on, done and over with. I can't change it, but
Yeah,
I would have requested that way the low, the citizens now would at least get their money
because
back off of it.
we did that during budget.
Yeah. The other one,
I think we also need to know it's not a them versus us. We have to remember that you have people that are they're volunteering their time to create this group and to do all the legwork for this group, so it's not placed on the responsibility of the city. So I get it that the dollars exchange right now and in this present moment does not look pleasing, but I also don't want it to be them versus us, because I think there's a natural behavior that can happen. I think like Trevor's saying, I mean, we have to look down the road at this, and we do need, you know, if we want to do the things around here, we're going to need the growth, and we're going to need the dollars to come in with that. So it's like, you know, chicken or egg or house out. And that's why I said, I think more of treating this like this partnership and getting the updates and things like that. I think that's where we can help drive the narrative, is to say, yes, this is the $25,000, but here's the wonderful things that they've done. Here's the future. Here's 6 months down the road. And as a council member, I would feel comfortable with that too.
Yeah, so I wanted to be putting out that everybody on that development group, there's no paid salary, nothing. I mean, they had to pay $500 to get on that group also, so. I mean,
They're all invested.
They're, I mean,
They're doing it for the community.
I mean, we're all,
And it's a lot of time, we've discussed too, we're not gonna look at just that. There's stuff downtown, we got all kinds of ideas, so.
that's our first. And I've stepped off the board on the development group now that it's up and going, so. I'm still a member, but I have no voting rights or nothing on there, so. I've stepped off to the side.
Emotions aside, on the feels of not attacking anybody's character on the
No, I
board.
know you're not.
There's too many questions. Where did it go? I've already brought it up that I have asked for before you pull that other 25, because that night I believe I was part of shutting down the other 25, because that night that first 25 was brought over, put up a fight on it.
Yep.
And at that time I had said, where is it going? Because the attorney was here, and I said, is this legal? And he goes, yeah, it's legal. And I said, but okay. Julie even responded. She said, yes, they don't have to. They're a private entity. They don't have to reveal anything.
Yeah.
So emotions aside, and what you think that we are owed to pay for that, there's no transparency right now. That's where my problem is where is the money going? Where do you think the development is going? Or are you guys gonna just keep asking for money? You guys meaning just the development group?
Yeah.
For it to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Because if it goes nowhere, like now that money's just gone.
Well, yeah. I
So
mean,
you guys should have a business plan of something internally within that development group on what you think you can sell houses for, where you think it'll go, you know, and if in the first year of it being developed,
we do have that model.
theoretically speaking, if you sold 4 houses or 15 houses, what would that look like?
When we do have that model, I mean.
Right, but we
Yeah,
don't.
I know, and you guys
We
don't, so we can present that we absolutely have that, what we think of, how many are gonna come in, you know.
I think we need to, yeah, and I think it's
Just-
going back to the economic development group, and, you know, I think we need to place this on their laps and say, here's what the concern is. Please produce to us something, instead of us promising or over promising anything. I think the development group as a group in a whole, here's where the grievances is, here's our concerns, this is what's at the table. It's the second half of the $50,000. Help us understand where the money's going, what the intent is, where the funds originally went to. I think we let them decide what it is. And then if it's not enough or what we feel is necessary, then we go back to that group.
No, I don't have no problem with that.
Yep.
So we'll
Okay.
get that.
Okay, let's move on off of that one.
Okay.
I just got one thing to add to that, as a member of that group. If you approach the people on that, the way you talk here, they'll be done.
That's
It's been
what
a lot
I'm
of blood,
concerned
sweat, and
about.
tears. $500 is nothing. I got personal money in it. I got my business money in it. I got nothing to gain. There's not one person gonna use propane.
Yeah.
It's because I love Colton.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
So,
volunteer group.
You understand that?
Yeah.
This group knows nothing about development. We're trying to get established because we know nothing. We felt we'd have developers come to Colton. They pretty much said, yeah, we'll come listen. Yeah, you got a good plan. No, we're not coming. 5 times. Should have quit right then. I believe in Colton.
Yeah.
I hope this room believes in Colton.
Oh, we do. And like I said,
understand transparency. I
Yeah.
get it. You'll get it.
Okay.
But I want you to understand, I spent a lot of labor. There's about 13 other people spent a lot of labor and time. Don't be critical. You can criticize, just don't do it to them. They'll walk away. It's over. The land deal's done. If we don't produce this year, it's done. I've already been told, you want to do it again? Pay more money.
Yeah.
Price you got will not be there again.
and like I said, I hope it goes through. It just, I guess I've never seen the city funding it, is all I'm saying.
Check around. Hartford does, El Rapids does, Crooks does. They do.
Yeah, but Del Rapids puts a lot in their development group.
I do.
Do they?
I'm not saying you have to. I just know what they do.
Okay.
That's quite a bit. I mean, I think what Harrisburg almost, well, I think Harrisburg almost does plus.
So with this, with that, you know, the general update, maybe that's something that you guys could include in there too, is the struggles that you've had. And just some ideas of what are the next steps, and, you know, how
The fact
else.
we had to go hire a different lawyer didn't help. Pay more money again.
Right.
We had to get away from the city lawyer, got away from the city engineer.
Yep.
We don't want problems other towns had, but we discovered all that too late.
After
Right.
Baltics, kind of.
So rather than go through the headaches that they're in, we just will separate right now, but it costs more money. And I know you don't know that. I get it.
Right,
It's
yeah.
never been voiced.
Yeah,
But
I think, you know,
we struggle to spend the money because it's like a defeat. We've been defeated so many times. Ready to be done. We never got started. I'm ready to quit.
You know, and that's the kind of stuff we need to hear too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we don't hear nothing, you know, so, I
Pretty
mean,
much ashamed, Joe. I'm ashamed of it.
yeah,
Didn't know nothing about it, and here we are going backwards.
yeah, especially if you have 5 developers turn us down already. I mean, that's,
Well, they came in like, yep, you got a good plan. You should maybe just start with 10, you know. But like the one that we talked to, well, I mean, at that time, everybody was so busy.
mhm.
So we're stuck in Crooks, we're stuck in Teves, Harrisburg, you know. So that's what I'm saying. You have to get the ball rolling. And once they see the initial, okay, yeah, it's working, okay, now we'll come and spend our funds up here. But when you got other communities already steamrolling and going, why they're gonna roll their dice on it up here is what I'm trying to get at it. When there's already have a proven model in another town that's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to be critical. I'm just curious.
No,
I
and-
want to
and-
know
and,
more
yeah, same
about
here.
it.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't want to be critical of you
No, I
guys
just-
putting this, all together. I think it's fantastic. And the investment, I know it takes money to make money. And you guys, like you said, just the initial cost of your lawyers and all of that, setting this up as an entity. And all the questions that come to you. No, I'm curious. I just want to know more.
We can get it, because I know.
when you put the report together, put those challenges in there,
Okay.
just so we know, and maybe we can have our own brainstorming session on ways that we can help.
No.
If there is help.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, we might be able to come up with something too.
I'm totally good. Me table your 25,000. That's fine. Go ahead and table it. If you decide not to give it, that's fine too. I mean, we accept any and all money or none. So
No, like I said, I think the money's committed there, Monty. It's going to come to you. I think it's just helping us so that when
Yeah.
Kathleen asks questions that we know we can say with confidence, like, yeah, we're behind this group, and we are, and we're behind this group. We support this group, and this is how, and this is why, and this is where the dollars are. It's just, to me, it's more of like a business transaction and a partnership.
We're giving them this money for these reasons.
Right, and I'm not critical on the people, so I need you to not feel this as a personal attack. There's zero information that's been given to the city council.
Yep.
It is completely like Riley had said, much like the Country Days has to come in and lay their case on why they need money and how much they need and why they need it. I think that same thing should be here in the spirit of transparency.
We can definitely get that together, so not an issue.
And
Like I
if we
said,
have information, we can get the community excited too, which,
Yeah.
you know,
One, I know one.
Well,
I
then that'll
don't-
be good too for country days if they have a booth. You guys have a booth
Yeah,
down
we
there,
have
right,
it
Money?
down there, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Any more questions or concerns about?
Baseball signs, I'm assuming that was the sponsor signs.
That's initial. So if we get everybody come back for that, he won't be there next year unless we get a couple new sponsors. We're gonna
Okay.
maintain and keep our signs. So so come winter, we'll take those signs down and put them away and keep them. So then we
Yep.
don't have to buy new ones next year.
Yep, and I'm sure that was all paid through the sponsorship money.
Yep.
Yep, okay. And then the other one, understand Houston equipment. Yeah, cable ties and fencing under salary and wages.
Nope, sorry, that's my bad. Need to change that in there. Shouldn't be in salary wages.
Last
oh,
page.
last page.
Typed in the wrong code when I was entering in the code. so-
Well, I was looking, I was like, how is that?
Yeah, no,
I
it-
mean, not unless you're paying yourself with cable ties and fencing.
No,
It
no, I'll
don't
get
make
that
sense.
switched over to.
You're real Colton man.
Yeah. No, the code, I typed that in when I was.
And then
going into
under
the slide.
Sioux Valley Energy, sorry, the next page back, I missed my own question mark. Yeah, park concessions, is that like a utility? Cause it's the same,
That's the concessions, like the concession booth.
Electricity.
okay,
or
that's,
Yeah, that's Sioux Valley Energy is all electricity.
yeah, okay,
And
I,
that's just
yep,
and they've got it separated out for the concessions for utilities, and then it's got the
yeah, it was just a different page I seen,
it's
concession supply, so I was just making sure that was
Yep,
electric
that's it.
bill.
Yep, that's a different one. So.
The one thing we could look at is like for Golden West at the water tower, we're not using Golden West up at the water tower.
So I could
Maybe call on that, see if
get that line canceled there. Save us some cash.
it's not even live. They were gonna put conduit into the tower. The lines, the wires that are there now. It's not even-
I have a question. This U-Drive technology, Seth.
Yep.
This 67, was that our monthly payment? Because
Yeah.
when we originally set it up, and I don't know who I talked to, but it was either we had an agreement for 3 years or 5 years that it was supposed to be I think it was like the flat 50 or the $51. I don't remember who I talked to or who Heather worked with, but that was part of like the sale of getting it was that. And then obviously the however much it was per text message. I'm just curious to know
I think
maybe
it's
because I thought we had something. I don't remember how long we've had it, but it was supposed to say a flat rate for X amount of years.
I'm not sure about that.
Is that
I
something you
can
can
do
look
some.
into?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
I
do
don't
some
remember if
looking
it was like a
'cause-
3-year thing or 5-year thing. 5 years seems a little much, but maybe it was like 3 years and it was supposed to stay a flat rate.
I can look into it because
Okay.
I was first time hearing it. so.
Okay, no, that's why I just noticed that. So not that this has to do with the claims, I just had another question. Did we ever, do we have a liaison technically that sits on development committee?
Yeah.
That is you?
Yep.
So is there something where, like, Chaz, you could just give us updates instead of us having this, like, oh my God, we have no updates? Is that something that we
can put them
could?
on just like fire. Fire, just what.
Because I know that we talked about it when we assigned duties and stuff, that we'd have a liaison. I mean, I still think we need whatever we need now to understand the 25,000, but I think maybe going forward, is it something where we just, like, when Pete speaks on Parks and Rec,
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that's what I
Chad,
said, we
yeah,
just add
Chad can
We'll
just.
do it, we'll just do a department, right after, we'll just do it right after, sheriff's report. Or we can do it after fire department, so.
Okay.
Just what we're working on, so.
So I'll bring that up and see how we wanna lay it out for
Yeah.
how I present it or whatever, so.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions or concerns about claims? If I can get a motion with the 25,000 being tabled for the development group till report from the development group.
Seth, do you need me to abstain?
I'll make a motion.
Or can I still?
I'll second it.
Motion from.
I don't
Julie, second
think you need
from
to
Joe.
abstain.
It's dollars exchange. My husband's the treasurer.
No, we're not, but you're
Yeah.
abstaining
We
from
took that
that.
off there though.
You're
Okay.
tabling that for
Right now.
Okay, okay,
till the report, so.
okay.
Motion from Julie, second from
Joe.
Joe. All those in favor say aye.
I,
All those opposed, same sign. Okay.
It's not till we give out the cash.
Okay.
You need to, Chaz, and
Just
you,
trying to make sure I'm following the
Yep.
rules.
since we're tabling it, you
Okay.
can still vote on it then.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to go back to the beginning here. Okay.
Just mind if I jump in?
Yeah.
quick? There is something where if we're doing that adult, night at the pool and all that, we might need to check out, to check with that, since even if we're jumping off of Kathy's, liquor license, I think the liquor license are only good at the place of business.
I talked to Patrick.
Oh.
He
Oh,
said,
he can, yeah.
yep, Kathy can use it. It's just no different than what Justin's doing
Okay,
coming up in Country Days.
Okay,
He
so
just
she'll-
apply for a special license.
okay, sorry.
Is
Just
it
was-
like a same theory of like a beer garden when she did that?
Same concept.
It's
Yep.
just like a 1 day
One-day license,
special
Yeah.
operating permit.
which is
So
on the next one on the agenda, Classic Corner Special Alcohol Beverage License.
The one thing I thought I was gonna mention too, if we do let them do that, or if that's something, I would say like no glass, no straws,
Yeah,
things like
in the
that,
pool.
anything like that where like
Yeah,
if the
it'll be-
straws get in the filters or.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Classic Corner Special Alcohol Beverage License from Dollar General. So, or sorry, no, Dollar General. Classic Corner. So he's gonna be doing the tractor pull. And he's gonna set up like a beer gardens there. And then he's gonna actually run our concession stands, main man or concession stands. Pretty much, we're taking all our stuff out of the concession stands, and he's gonna move in there for that day. So our staff can just clearly concentrate on the pool. And because the hard thing is the staff wants to enjoy Country Days, so they kind of rotate out. So this way we can just rotate out in smaller hours. And then everybody can enjoy. So, so then he's just asking to sell beer out of the concession stands up at the ball field up there.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I got no problem with it.
oh, me either.
Yeah, we'll have to make up.
Great. Free up your pool staff.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We just worry about the pool. That thing is not a moneymaker during that day for us.
So you just need a motion for that, or
I mean,
I'll make a motion for it.
I'll second.
second. Tyler, all those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed, same thing. Sorry, did you have something you want to say, man?
No, for some odd reason, I thought, brain farting on them. With people that put it on Colton Country Days, we're gonna man the
Concession stand?
concession stands.
They're still run then
Okay.
that day. They're trying to get actually other committees to run like certain events during the week.
Okay,
I think you're thinking of when Heather, when the Tri-Valley Ball Association wanted to do it during the tournament.
maybe that's what it
Yeah, the
was.
Tri Valley Ball did it during this last weekend when they had that big baseball
Okay.
tournament down. Tri-Valley, we emptied our stuff and Tri-Valley Ball moved in.
Okay, I was probably thinking of that. So,
Are they doing like a home run derby or anything? like
No.
that?
No. Okay, resolution number 5, community access grant application.
which one is it?
That's the,
This one?
yep,
Okay.
number 5. Should be numbered at the top because they're in order.
And what's this one for?
This one's for the community access grant.
The one that we applied with Sophie, so we just need a resolution on this one for this application.
What is it for though?
Well, this will be for the 4th and 6th Street improvements. Oh wait, no, this is, I'm on the wrong one.
No, yeah, it says 4th and 6th
Oh yeah, I
Street.
am on the right one here.
The top,
This will be the one where, we're going down at some point in time if we can get, because now that we got the sidewalk grant, we're gonna apply for that 4th and 6th.
to do the
Did
road.
Come through the road here and redo the roads and the water.
Roads and water?
On 4th and 6th. This is just a grant we're applying for, so.
Okay.
We got
I'll
denied it,
offset
we
the
got
cost.
denied it last year, but now with Weston thinking that we got we got approved for the sidewalk grant, now it's more appealing that we can come back and get both of it, and we can do both of them at the same time.
Cause are we talking like water and sewer like you did on the 2 main drags in town?
Well, it's not, this one isn't sewer, is it?
Just water.
Just water. This would be like, so we can replace all our curb stops and all that on the sidewalks and stuff like that, so I should say sewer. sorry.
Just the water.
Just the water?
So we just, yeah.
Cause we line the sewer, right?
There is no sewer here. It's all in the alleys on 4th Street.
Okay,
Get to Iowa.
okay.
Yeah, 'cause when we applied for this one, what?
We applied for it last year.
Last year.
fall.
Yeah.
So if it does get accepted, then what do we do? Put it out for bid?
We have 5 years to fulfill the grant. So we don't have to do it right away. So we have 5 years to get everything, fulfill it. Be an 80-20. We can get up to 80-20.
They pay 80, we pay 20?
Yep.
It says local match on the resolution.
Yeah, it does say local match.
Well, once they changed it, that first one, did they change it, Seth?
Not the.
'Cause where was that? Where did they read that?
Where-
Right here, under whereas.
Paragraph.
Yep.
Unless they got changed last minute, because the one that we applied for was, where we're
So-
talking was 80-20, because they're both were 80-20s.
Sophie didn't say that it changed it. any, so.
So unless there's a.
I think we need a clarification
we can get
because
clarification
if
on
it's 50-50, is the city gonna be able to afford it?
that. No, not on that one.
Yeah. So maybe we table this one and get more clarification if it is an 80-20 or a 50-50.
Mhm.
I can try to look it up.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Just table until we get more clarification.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on. So this is the one that we kind of talked about. Resolution number 6, this is the one, the hot tub and pool, so we talked about this last year, see if anybody wanted.
Yep.
On board on this one.
Just basically read it over because we all voted that we wanted it.
Yep, I can read it out aloud too.
We can-
That a resident can submit an application to have their sewer bill credited by the number of gallons used in filling their pools or hot tub once a year. The application shall include the resident's name, phone number, address, account number, and date when filling the pool or hot tub stated. Date when the filling ends, gallons used, and the total capacity of the pool or hot tub. And proof of having a pool and hot tub. The resident shall have verified the contents in the application are true to the best of her knowledge, or his knowledge. Applications will submit to the finance office for review and approval. On approval, the account will have their sewer bill credited by amount of gallons actually used, rounded to the nearest thousands.
Because that's how our sewer bill is done. It rounds it to the nearest thousand.
Doesn't, okay.
So we're just keeping it.
A total of one applicant can be submitted per resident or per residents per year.
Do you need a motion for it?
Mhm.
I'll make the motion.
Well,
I'll second.
Hold,
Okay.
does this need to say anything? So how are we, how are you going to make these determinations? Like, are we sending like Pete out to do like a house check? Like, how's any of this going to be controlled?
On,
They give us a picture of their pool.
Yeah.
Or hot tub,
So,
because it's a
So-
proof, you know.
And then the gallons is pretty simple. You look at their, say they filled it in June,
Yeah, because we can
you
track.
can look the previous month and go, okay, they used 3,000 gallons. The previous month for that, they used 3,000. Well, now all of a sudden they use 33,000 gallons of water.
Mhm.
And they took a picture of their pool and, I mean, that's a-
Filled out the application and everything.
you only get it once a year.
you know,
once a
and then
year.
it's just, they just get sewer credit for that pool once.
So, to me, this is kind of a reworking of the summer rates that we let pass, and we did not make motion here nor there on it. It ended up falling short because there was no action taken on it. To me, this is essentially doing some form of the summer rate. It's just now we're excluding anybody that supports their family through gardening or lawn care or anything along those lines. So I want to make sure, and again, this is why I'm never the favorite in the room. I just want to make sure that we're looking at that from that perspective too, because then now what happens when someone comes in and says, well, because I can't afford a pool and I can't afford a hot tub, and I'm trying to provide my family garden, like I'm trying to produce gardening and be able to feed my family that way, then I don't get the one-time rate. How would you challenge that then if a citizen walks in and says, well, I'm doing the right things by keeping my yard up because you guys are telling me now that I gotta have, a nice looking yard. I'm trying to garden and produce family product for my family. I can't afford these things. Why did these people get the credit and I don't?
How can you prove it though?
That's what I'm asking you to prove this though. He just said a picture. So then we're gonna spend city dollars to go out and investigate to make sure these people have a pool.
No,
No,
I
they
just bring in a
submitted it-
picture
they
of my hot
submitted
tub
one
when I
third.
fill it and I give it to them and I fill out the application.
Okay, that's fine. But Joe, if Kathleen walked in right now and says, I have a garden because I have to try to keep my grocery bills down in the summer because we got escalated AC bills. And then I also am trying to keep my yard looking decent because if I don't and I get thistles and weeds and erroneous stuff, then I'm going to get a nuisance claim from the city to say, clean up your yard.
Prove to me you're watering it. How do you prove that they're using that water for that?
And not only that,
I
but
just want you guys, I'm not here.
I
I'm
know,
not
I'm
going to
just- I'm
answer your
just-
questions, Joe, because I know where you're going with
Yeah,
it.
it's
I'm
just gonna
just
be-
saying,
You gotta have proof.
or you would say that to Kathleen. If she was a citizen that came in and said, here's the thing, you guys told me the summer rate wasn't going to happen this year. We let that fall. Every single person here did not make a motion on that. We let that fall.
This is not a summer rate.
It's skirting around it. I mean, you're painting it a different color and
So-
then calling it a different name,
Or I fill a pool, put a spout on it, and then water my garden from
I
there.
guess.
That's all.
probably a good way to do it. You get rid of all the chlorines and chloramines in it.
You do a retaining tank.
We were just trying to figure out a way to clarify the amount of gallons is what we were trying to figure out.
Yeah.
How do you do that when you're watering your yard?
You're talking, most pools are 15,000+ gallons of water. I don't know how many hundreds of gallons, because it's probably not even into the thousands when you start watering a garden.
Right, but we have a city pool that we're doing everything we can in our power to save. So now not only would someone challenge the fact that we're raising money, we literally have a fundraiser on the books to try to save our municipality, our city pool. But now we're also passing a resolution that not only gives someone the encouragement to have a pool, but then also gives them a discount. We
But-
got to think about what we're doing.
But it's not really giving them a discount. We're not charging them for a service that wasn't used. Because,
Yes, but then I'm saying.
because we're not deducting the water, we're only deducting the sewer.
Right, but you're only doing this for a certain class of people, is what I'm telling you. So if you cannot afford a pool, you cannot afford a hot tub, you can't apply for this credit. So that means if this is something we're gonna pass, we need to resurrect the summer rates then as a group and rediscuss them. Because you're putting a category of people that can afford pools and afford hot tubs. That's not everybody in this community, which that's not fair to them, that then they're shorted out of this credit opportunity when you just said yourself what stuff they're not using.
Well, I'll go the opposite way with it. I bought a hot tub many, many years ago, and I never, ever thought about coming to the city and saying, give me a discount to fill it.
I didn't think so either. That's why we let the summer rates fall.
No, this has just been brought up to my attention on some
So I
residents.
mean,
when
I
said
do
I'd
agree
bring
with
it-
you that if you can afford a pool and you can afford a hot tub, you took that into consideration when you
You
bought
did.
the pool or you bought the hot tub, that you needed to fill it and you need to drain it. Or you take care of it chemically and you don't ever have to drain it.
But like Kathleen said, I mean, people are gonna find a way around this. So they fill the pool and put a spigot on it, and that's how they like. I just really want to make sure that we're thinking through this, because to me, this skirts around the summer rates, which we let as a group we did not do or make a motion on, and now we're bringing it back and just retitling it.
I think a lot of the reason why we did the summer rate, where we let the summer rates fall though, is because there is no way for us to tell how many gallons they actually watered their garden or their yard.
That, and it was not public notice that everybody knew about it. It was special people only.
Yes.
I revoke my motion to this.
And that's fine. Like I said, I just had a few residents that brought it up and asked if there's a way they can do it. And I said, just doing my portion of bringing in this to the table. I don't care which way this falls. So,
Yeah, I mean,
and I agree with you, Riley, that if you buy a hot tub and a pool,
and I don't disagree, but on the same aspect, you can clearly, when there's a $15,000 water usage per month, you can clearly see that on their water bill that they filled a 15,000 gallon pool. And that water is never going to make it to our sewer system.
Right. But they're gonna challenge you and say the same case for their garden
You can, if
or their lawn that they're watering to try to keep it fresh and green and nice.
prove how much water, we can include them a one-time fee and
If it's an increase though, you can look at their normal yearly use and then see that spike. So you would see where that difference is in a spike.
but during the summer, most people are going to use more water typically anyways.
They do.
You're going to wash your clothes more. You're going to obviously
your
drink
vehicles.
more.
Wash your vehicles.
Yeah, wash your vehicles. I mean, you're going to use a lot more water during the summer. So actually looking at your winter months and justifying, well, it went up 300 gallons. Well, how much of that actually went onto your yard?
So you're saying that if you have a garden or if you water your lawn, the burden of proof is on the citizen to try to prove their case that they are also entitled to this one-time credit. That's not being a council member. That's representing an entire city. You're only representing a class of people that can afford a pool, that can afford a hot tub here. That's what so you're new to this. So I'm trying to help
Yeah,
you
no,
understand
and-
this, is that you have to look at this objectively. You're trying to bottle this into one thing, saying, well, it's just the way that the city found a way for us to determine or measure this. That's not looking at it from a full city, community, citizens perspective. And that's what I'm trying to look at with this.
And like I said, I'd be more than willing to give them a one-time credit for watering their yard and their garden too, because it's a one-time credit if they have to refill their pool, refill their hot tub. I mean, people empty their hot tub twice a year and clean them, and they only get it once. I'm not saying that it's a fix all.
I get what Riley's saying.
So do I, but on the same aspect, I get where, 15,000 gallons ain't going down our sewer and people shouldn't have to pay for a service they're not using. and it's clearly evident in a bill.
Well,
You either have it or you don't. I think where she's going is this is just representative of one class. I fought really hard to keep the summer credit because it made sense to not using the sewer thing. I fought really hard on that, but it died, and my fight died with it because it was done. I had discussed it to death. This brings back a small portion of the people, not all of the people, which is what she's trying to bring to attention.
So we'll go around, just have a quick discussion. Chaz, your thoughts on it?
my thoughts are is we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it just 1 month. They get 1 month deal. They get one pass for 1 month a year. So if they want to water their lawn for 1 month, that's what they get.
And I'd be fine with that too.
They get a pass for everything and that 1 month just for their water usage.
Julie?
I agree. I think it's like the jump pass. I don't know. To me, it's like, it's just a little perk that we're doing for, I'm not trying to, a group, just make a group, but I just thought it was a nice perk if they took the time to come in, get the permit. I don't know.
Tyler?
Yeah, I agree with Riley. I get where she's going with it. And I don't know the summer rates. I'm not familiar with that since I just got on the council. So I can't compare it to anything.
So the
as far as
whole-
what you guys' argument was on the summer rates thing.
The whole
I never
discussion,
knew
the
about
summer rate was why we kind of fall short. One, we didn't want to promote water consumption when we're already getting thought of
Okay.
a water shortage.
Yep.
Two, the complaint is people with the pools and all that, they're buying the sewer, but they're not using it.
Okay. Yep.
So that's the whole complaint.
Okay.
This was got back up to my attention and can we just do something like this? I said, well, I can present something to the council and we'll go from there. So this is the new approach
Okay.
for it. So,
There was also discussion about looking into the future of this. So yes, so the other side of it, the objective side of it is that we also can't determine any strain, if there is strain or what this looks like on what's going into our sewer system when there's the inflow or influx
Yep.
of water. Yes, it's still maintained in their bill, but that's no different than someone saying, well, I haven't turned the water in my house on in 6 months. Right, but you pay a maintenance fee every single month in order for us to pipe that water to your home, that you have ready access to it. To me, that was the same conversation that we talked in depth about it, is that yes, during the summer, they may not be using that, but this is also a part of having the water pipe to your home and that type of investment. And then looking forward into the growth of the economic development. Don't commit us to something where we're also facing water shortages. In the same meeting that summer rate was discussed, we're trying to discuss what water shortages look like and what that's going to look like for our community and how the increase in the water bill is going to come. And so it was a holistic look at what now looks like and what 5 years looks like, or 2 years, or a year.
I guess I would agree with Chaz too. If we want to offer them something similar to the dump pass,
A one-time use.
a one-time use,
No matter what it is.
you can choose what month you use it in. So if you have a hot tub and you want to fill it at the beginning of the winter season, whatever the case may be, or vice versa with a pool, you submit your application. There wouldn't necessarily be any requirements to submit photos or what you're using it for. You're just applying for that one-time credit, and you can use it whichever month you decide to use it for. Okay. That would be mine.
Joe, your input?
I do away with all of it.
I think I'd change it like what Chaz and brain ain't working today. Tyler. I think I'd change it just to a one-time pass and just get rid of the pool and hot tub. Just a once a year pass.
Well, that's, yep, and we can look into that. That's a whole nother resolution that we'd have to write up. So that being said, are we tabling this or want anybody get a motion? It's approved.
So the one-time pass situation, if that's what we're gonna do. Again, so the reason, so for the new individuals on this, the reason why this summer rate was brought up, it was actually like a behind the door situation that was happening that no one actually knew about. When this was brought to the council, no one knew that was happening, that these people, there's certain select people in the community that were getting a discount or were getting this quote unquote summer rate. It was not brought to our attention until this individual actually requested it. So now if we do this one-time thing, we got to think about this. So it's like, are we actually really going to go through the effort to make this as a resolution? Or do we say that in the month of June, Ward 1 gets a discount? Ward 2 in July gets the credit. In Ward 3, they get it in August. Because then you're also going to run into people saying, well, I didn't know about this. And now why isn't it advertised? And why did Bobby Joe and those people get it and I didn't get it? And now I've missed the deadline. And I'm just saying it can get really ugly. So if we're going to start doing that, then we need to resurrect the summer rates and have that conversation all over again and what that looks like. And maybe if we have new people on the council, maybe to have that conversation again.
If you want my input, because I'm gonna be the one doing it, I think we should just get rid of all of it, go with what Joe was saying. Just-
I
That's
mean,
my,
like you said, you're paying for the service coming to your house, and you're paying for the service leaving your house, regardless if you use it or not.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
we still have to maintain that as a city.
Yep.
We have to maintain the water line, we have to maintain the sewer.
you're correct, and that's on your service charge. That is not on your usage. That is where I'm coming from.
That's a separate, it's a separate line item on your bill.
Right.
You pay for
As
servicing
as
of,
long as your curb stop is turned on, what is it, a minimum $25 charge per month? Whether you use 0 gallons or
it's,
did that go up with all the loans?
it went up with all the loans, it's a lot.
So then it's maybe about a minimum of
I think it's
50.
I think it's 65.
Yeah.
Is the minimum.
But see, like while I was deployed, I just had them shut my curb stop off. And I didn't pay a single cent while I was gone. The piping and everything was still there.
Well, and that was done incorrect.
You can't charge me for something that's not turned on.
You have your water meter. You're always gonna have a water meter charge.
You don't think I won't go down and pop a water meter out of my basement while I'm gone? Just saying, I mean, it's two nuts in a wire.
Yeah, but it's also, it's read remotely though.
Right, remotely.
Yeah, I'll bring it here.
So let's just table until next spring.
Yep.
Be done.
Okay.
Move on.
Okay, this is resolution number 7, 2023.
Sorry.
The Housing Infrastructure and Finance Program. This is to make the Economic Development Group the actual applicant for the housing application. It takes all the responsibility out of the city filing this application.
We're just essentially saying
We're giving the blessing.
we're giving the blessing for them to apply for it.
Apply for the city.
Okay. If the grants say are an 80-20, how does that work then?
This is not an 80-20. This
No, but what I'm saying is, if the Economic Development Group applies for an 80-20 grant, how does that work then? Because that's gonna tie our hands.
So so I'm just gonna say, we'll just put this in, for instance, this one in, to make this cheaper and to get, the funding and because the development group's actually gonna have to go and be the one pretty much like pulling out the loan to get this going from the personal banks. So it's gonna have to go on a private sector side to get loans yet too. But this is gonna help get that cost down to the point where the development group can go and apply for that.
Yeah, no, but you see where I'm coming from, like the 80-20, does that, 20%, does that fall back on the Economic Development Group or does that come back to the city?
No, this will be
It's all-
It falls back to them.
That's why I said it takes full
Sorry, I should have
responsibility.
said
of
something. I
it.
didn't know that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
This will take the responsibility off the city and turn it onto the development.
Some of these grants, they can't go after by themselves. They have to essentially the government has to see that the city supports their decision to go after the grant. This is our way of giving the blessing to that.
Okay.
Because originally, the first one that we applied for, when we thought we were a go, the city applied for it.
Yep.
And so now we're filed and we're complete. We're not 100% complete, but the development group became a 501c3. So technically, after that, then they can go
They can
after
go
these
after it on
these
their
grants
own.
without that. But the time factor of when this is probably going to come out to our status of the development group status is in the gray area. So this is pretty much, this resolution is letting the state know that the city's saying, yeah, they can be the applicants for this.
Okay. I'm
And
understanding.
then the development group will be the one doing all the bidding process and all that stuff. And it takes all the work out of the city.
Okay.
I wonder if this is one I gotta abstain out of.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing, I'm drinking water.
So if there's any more discussion or concerns, if not, get a motion.
Does that mean I need to abstain as well?
Yeah.
You probably
Well-
I mean, you don't really need to, but.
I am going to just because it is, and I will abstain from it.
Will we get to see the grants? Sorry, I
Well,
I don't know if they've been-
See the.
just want to see what the grant is and
Yeah, it's a HIPAA grant, so it's
Okay.
50,000, or 50 million grant. that
Okay.
The state is sending out. The last time we heard, they maybe talked first come, first served, but
Okay.
now we don't know yet if that's yet. I mean, they're constantly kind of changing the rules every day a little bit, but,
no, that's fine. I just was
then-
curious if there was, if you guys have information
and
on
then
all the
there's another
grants.
$200 million grant that they can go after.
Okay.
Too.
That'll all be public record once they're granted also.
Yep.
You said you needed a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Matt Lutnick, second.
I'll second.
From Tyler Evans, all those in favor, say aye.
Hi.
All those opposed, same sign. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna go on to Banner. This is gonna be the sewer line project update. Weston with the baseball games, like we pretty much told them not to come in. You can kind of fill them in on.
Yeah, this is just a pay request for,
Yeah,
you're doing that one first. Or-
yeah, well, I was just gonna
The
do.
pay request is
so-
first, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say the sewer line project, you got any updates on that sort of?
Going good, main line's all done, they're in, actually started in today, they're doing the liners. They're on Second Street right now, we'll be here all week. Doing the liners, I think, the last email I seen, they cameraed everything and decided how many cleanouts they're gonna have to place. I think we're sitting at like 19 or 20 cleanouts that they're gonna have to do. Because they just didn't feel comfortable with the curve or whatever in the pipe, so. Sitting there, get the liners in and then they'll get the castings on top. On the manholes. Moving right along.
And the pay request for 96,000 is just, because what is it? How much do they got? We still have 703,000 left to pay.
It's just a progress payment.
Yeah, progress payment
Progress.
for what's completed.
Yep.
And we get reimbursed back on this too.
We actually don't pay till Danner and them give us the money and then we give it to them.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting for the first two requests because they're all backed up. Danner is, from what Sophie's told me, they're all backed up and we're just kind of sitting here waiting for it.
We
So then-
need a motion to,
We need a motion to approve the pay request number 3.
I'll second that for the pay
Yeah, for the pay package number 3.
Yeah, pay request number 3.
Motion from Joel, second from Matt. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, change order number 3.
So
Okay.
basically what that is, the change order is for the prep work that was made from, we got this manhole by the elevator that we can't get access to. Well, they prepped some cameras from both ways, from Fourth Street in and from Sherman. And they're coming with the prep unit to line it. Well, now that we can't get access to that manhole, we can't line it. So they just want the 1773.30 is just for what the work they've done, minus the liner, basically.
Their labor cost, basically.
Yeah. My question is are we getting reimbursed since they can't put that liner in?
I think that wasn't that the,
Mm-mm. No, change order 1 and change order 2 are not that. I actually looked it up.
yeah, change 2 was because of the clean outs and stuff.
Yeah. And change order 2 was the manhole
Yep.
that they had to tie a sewer into. Change order 1 was the clean outs.
That, I can't answer that question.
Because my question on this is, and I talked to a guy that has vast knowledge on construction and councils. He goes, typically what they'll do is they'll either do a change order to drop that whole section off, the cleaning and the lining, and then ask for a change order to do the cleaning, or they'll just do a change order and drop the lining off and we still pay for the cleaning. So this change order to me looks like they're just asking for another $1,773 and not dropping off the lining portion.
Well, if you read the email, it says, since we were unable to install the tiered and plate piping on manhole 1018 to 1203 due to the manhole, we would like to request a CO for the prep work we did on that line, which is 257 linear feet. Our prep is 20% of the lining price, so 31 times 0.20 is what they got there. So that's
Yeah.
assuming we're not being charged for the liner.
I would assume so too, but that,
Getting charged just for the prep work.
but
That's why we're having to pay the prep work, because I think the prep work is part of the liner.
yeah, because prep work's 20% of the lining, which is what they, since we're unable to do the lining of the total cost, 20% is prep.
Yeah.
So we'll reimburse you, and I think I looked it up, those $6,700 some dollars is what the lining would be for that section. You know, so then they would just decrease that off of our total bill instead of adding 1773 to it.
Right, yeah, no, this looks to me like we're just paying for.
For the labor.
prep work.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be a change order then that we're dropping that whole section and
Right,
whatever 31 times 257 breaks out to be.
and we're only, there's an email out there, Beth and them have been following it, so there's some footage. HK Solutions has it at like 7,100 feet. Banner has it at like 6,900, so over on a different segment. So there's some, you know, they're gonna have to finalize these numbers at the end. So that's
Okay.
where I think the 6,000 feet or whatever, that 400 feet depth line is gonna be, that will come out, because we're only gonna pay for the feet or the footage that's placed. So
Okay.
if they didn't put it in the ground, they're not getting paid for it, more or less, because they're measuring every manhole, the footage, banner is.
So do we need to go back and ask questions before we approve this?
Well,
I can call Weston. We can put Weston on speakerphone if I need to.
I don't think you knew, I'm just mean, but I don't think you need to, because we're only gonna pay for the footage that they place. So if they don't place that, we're not paying for it, the liner.
So you think there'll be just another change order coming for the decrease?
I don't even think it'll be, it's just,
Okay.
this is what we put in the ground, this is what we're gonna pay you.
Yeah, and see, I'm not sure how all that works. That's why I was questioning, because yeah.
I already know that HK Solutions is saying they put 200 more feet in the ground than what we've measured, so at some point, that's gonna be like, we're gonna have a little come to Jesus party and be like, no, this is what we got, so this is what we're gonna pay.
Yeah.
You okay with that, Matt? If not, you wait till
I
Weston
mean, I
calls
think
us.
this change order needs to be approved and paid, but I think we need some documentation, like you said. They should have, like you said, they should have done change order in 2 parts. It should have been done because to show you, because on that other one, we had so many liners and things, there was an actual number.
Yeah.
That one meeting of
Yeah.
what there was. And so how do we get that done, but yet approve this?
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not disagreeing, you know, we should pay for that service. You know, it's, I'm more disagreeing with how it's
We
written.
just don't wanna pay for the lining portion.
Well-
Or have it get slipped in there. or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
have 'em-
well,
yeah,
not even that. I
exactly.
mean, I don't want them to come back and say, okay, we didn't pay for the lining, but now we're paying 1773 twice. Is what I'm getting at.
No, I understand that completely.
So do you
I
wanna-
mean, we have a right Matt, to tell them, like, we are gonna table this, we need you to provide us either a revision to this or something that's gives us more of an explanation. I mean, we can do that. Paying this change order is paying an amount due to them, yes, but at the same time, we have a right as the council who's paying it to request additional information. So if you, I mean, you seem very well versed about this.
Normally Wes is here to.
Yeah.
explain all
Explains
that.
it.
Yeah,
So,
he
I mean,
was-
if
He
that's
was
where we
planning
need to
on being
do.
here.
I
He called
I-
me
yeah,
today.
yeah. He called me today.
I mean, can the change order wait till next month? I mean, obviously we got 700 and some $1,000.
It's not that big of amount of money.
I was gonna
like
say,
it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go broke if we don't pay it.
Yeah. I say we wait. I mean, that's just my feelings.
We'll
Table it.
table
Okay.
for now. Just so we have more.
We just need to make sure, clarify that we're not getting charged for the 257 linear feet.
Yeah.
That they
Of
did.
cleaning twice.
Correct.
good call out, Matt.
Moving on. Progress. Timeline or update? Oh, you
Can
got
I
it.
throw in with the, we had a meeting last, no, last Thursday.
Yeah, wait.
It's not even Thursday yet.
Monday.
But, so we had a meeting last Thursday with Beth and Weston, and we went over this manhole at the elevator. We do have finally got a quote from Holstein to replace the 2 manholes and put a line across that drainage ditch. It was just short of 124,000. We sat down and looked at all the numbers and kind of pulled their numbers to what they bid for this project and then other projects that Banner's been doing and compared them. And there's quite a few numbers that were quite a bit higher than what they should have been. So what we figured this should cost like 90,000, not 124,000. So we're kind of thinking that we want to just kind of wait on that, not accept that bid because it's the numbers are just not where they need to be.
Can we go back and request that, you know, saying this is what we were projecting?
Yeah, we can do anything. We can just say, no, we're not interested. Yeah. Or we can throw it when we bid out Second Street to do the outside of the sewer main there. We could bid it at that time, maybe get a better bid. So we sat here for 2 hours and just pulled our hair out, trying to figure out what's the right thing to do. Well, maybe I'd like for you guys to kind of,
We'll talk about if we got approved with the access grant, the community access grant. We can jump on with that also.
Well, my thought, and this is just my thought. So if you go to that change order number 3, we are still negative $135,000 from what we were initially approved.
right, we're gonna have some money left over.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, yeah.
They did tell us that in the beginning. We went more inflated or went higher than we should have intentionally.
Which is
Yeah.
So we knew that we were gonna have money owed to us.
But just before we get too far ahead on that, like I said, we're trying to figure out what the right thing to do is
Yeah.
long term, not just like what should we do right now.
Yeah.
So what I and Weston kind of agreed on is, do we even want to be in the railroad right away with that sewer main? Because right now that's not even permitted to be there. So when we touch something over there, we're gonna have to get permitted for the existing sewer to be there. And what we are permitted for right now is just to open up the manhole and work in the manhole. We're not permitted to do that cross stretch that we're talking about. So there's a lot of permitting and stuff that's gonna have to happen before we can do anything there.
And maybe that's why their quote was higher than
Well,
expected.
they don't even know that. Holstein don't.
Oh.
This is just an internal thing. But, so what I would suggest in Weston, is probably the right thing for long term, is to do away with that line and get it out of the railroad right away, which would mean we bring it
Up past the
back here
post
and bring it up
office.
Sherman, turn it on 4th Street and bring it down past the bank.
Which comes back to, we can jump on that community access grant when we do that.
My question is this 135,000, will that be available? Or does some of that go away since it's a grant?
Well, you'll have, was it 2 years or 4 years? There's a timeline on it. It has to be-
Okay.
It ain't just gonna sit there.
And also, we talked about it too, well, since that's up there by that elevator and that berm, people walk there, we don't know what's in that
We don't know
berm,
what's buried in it.
and we could get it, I mean, and now we're held liable to anything, I mean, we could open a whole can of worms.
Mm-hmm.
On the money side, we ran the numbers to run it down Sherman and down 4th to that manhole. It'd be about $50,000 more.
Are we able to tie in? I suppose that's back in the alleyway, isn't it?
with that.
The sewer until it gets by the bank.
We would hit it, yeah, out in front of the bank there where the manhole is in the street.
Because there's nothing right down that main or 4th here.
No. We would actually move that manhole south about, I don't know, 10 feet. Because we'd want to put our sewer on this side of the street, so we're not taking the whole road.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we take, like, this is a curb line along the funeral home. We'd come in 20 feet and we'd take that out. Then we'd have the curb to bump back into for our asphalt. Instead of having it right in the middle,
Yeah.
just having 2 edges, we'd be able to come off the curb 20 feet and the sewer would run there because the water main's on the other side of the street.
Okay.
But, so like I said, to get away from the railroad, not have to deal with them, we'd spend another $50,000. The wild card right now is what's it gonna cost us to get permitted to even be in there right away? Exist with the existing sewer and then having to do that new stretch. What's that gonna be?
Probably good, yeah, it's 25,000 permit.
I don't know. So I'm putting it out to you guys. Do we wanna pursue back there, or do we wanna try and do something out here in the street?
My preference is we get it out here, because then
Yeah.
we're not on anybody else's property, it's the city's property.
Well, and not only that, but if we don't have to deal with the railroad, more power to us because they are a pain.
But I'm just saying, even in the future, that manhole's on somebody else's property, and now we have to get access to somebody else's property to get.
Wouldn't it go all the way through under the properties? Because there wouldn't be a manhole on somebody else's property, would there?
Just in the railroad right away.
Just the railroad right away?
I say
Wait.
well, yeah, I mean, we still got a process on this, but I think what Pete's trying to get at is not wasting anybody's time till we move forward and just going down.
Nope.
Where we don't even look at the railroad, as an option.
I just want
Perfectly fine
to
with
hear
that.
your guys' thoughts, what you're thinking.
So
If you think that's the right move.
Well, yeah, Weston said that there's no way to find out what's there.
Then it'd be nice to know how much we're gonna have money left from this grant. And then with the other grant, if we can use that one towards this and
Well, and
how
if
much
we
we
get
can
that-
swap
that grant
dollars.
for the sidewalk. We got the sidewalk now, right? But if we get the other one for the street, now would be the time to put that
yeah,
sewer in.
because then we kind of piggyback off of all that stuff. So
So I'm thinking the Holstein one, that's gonna be dead in the water, if you guys are okay with that, just because it's inflated. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Important. Okay. Progress, so online water bills.
Riley wanted me to talk about that, so
If you guys are good, I'm gonna step out, I'm gonna go spray mosquitoes.
Yep, that sounds good. Thank you.
See you guys later.
Yes, thanks, Pete.
with that, I went over, I got a hold of the sales rep for, our current credit card processor. And they said we'll have to, the one that we're using here at the office, we can't do that. That one you can't use online where people go over and you just type in their own stuff. It won't work that way. We'll have to change to a different one. And she was supposed to send me the paperwork, but I never got it, and I haven't went back to her to try and get it back. Because this was about last month. I talked to her about this. And then I just,
What that Reliant was gonna help set that up.
Yeah.
This is because he went the one with the Reliabank. It's not Reliabank doesn't do it. They outsource it, and then they're wanting to charge us what was it? Because I looked at their thing. They're wanting to charge us a ton of cash for the one for Core Trust. They don't charge us with
Well,
it.
There's a servicing fee.
Yeah, if they want then they wanted a annual that we pay as well, where we don't pay that currently with the Core Trust, the one with Core Trust. But Reliabank's one we would have to pay an annual, and the servicing fee was higher.
Yeah.
I can't remember the right numbers, but I know there's an annual one that we'd have to do
Here.
with them.
So
So
so if we're talking about dollars and decisions, can you get two of these quotes put together so we can make a decision on it next
yeah,
month?
well, that's why I was waiting for the other gal to get it, but she never sent me over the stuff for the new one, which would be able to do it.
Did you reach out to her like recently, or are you still waiting
I
on
was-
it from last month?
I haven't reached out back out to her. So I was.
'Cause my only concern is that, I mean, I have been requesting this as a council member, and I've been bringing this up. I mean, this is probably my 5th meeting now that I've asked for this. Like, I think it's something that we're behind the times that we expect people to come up here and drop off a check or call over the phone. Like, we need to be able to be, I mean, we got a POS system for the pool, and that's up and running, and you've got numbers at your fingertips. There's no reason why we can't do the same for them at water bills.
Well, here's a dumb question. Is there a way we can use that POS system?
Or the pool.
Yeah.
I don't think so,
No,
because it's
no.
hooked up to a different software. Like it's I don't remember what he'll know what software it is,
I don't know how you separate that.
right?
Really? I don't think.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. Since I was just thinking since we had some kind of online payment technology, maybe there's some way you can make it work. I wasn't sure.
City of Colton, Venmo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Venmo
I
money.
know, yeah.
So, there's
Something.
those credit card fees too that vendors are charging. So is that something that could be a potential to increase somebody's water bill too? Because if they want to pay online and they want to use their debit card, now they have those, what's it, 3%?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can
I
have
don't-
my bill paid through Wells Fargo or Service First.
Right. I know there's ways around it, but whichever one we get set up with, we need to look into that too. Because are we going to pay 3%? That 3%
No,
charge?
no,
Is
you-
it going to pay for that, or is it going to be passed on to the
It'd
resident?
have to be
If we
passed
could find
on.
a payment system that goes around that somehow, I don't know.
I don't know
I
if
need
you're
to
gonna
look into
find one.
more. I need to look into that more myself. I don't.
So we don't really have any updates on right now. And we don't have any numbers. Can you put together a packet? Because I know you're saying that one of them was way too expensive and one's this. Because I think when we're talking about how much thing is expensive, I think that needs to be brought to us so we can kind of make that decision.
Yeah.
But I mean, we
So
gotta do something to move this forward.
You can have that on the next. I mean,
Because I thought that's what we
I'm
did
in support of
today.
it.
Yeah, if I could pay online, I mean, it's your choice
Not
to
that I
pay
don't
the
like-
extra 3%.
Coming down here and maybe running into Seth every once in a while.
Well,
how
I
Yeah, we
do,
do.
but I pay what, 50 cents or $2 or whatever it is for that.
It's 50 cents.
Yeah.
Well, what are the other municipalities using?
They're using the one we looked at out, it was GovPay, a lot of them are using, but the quote that they gave us for using it was, I believe it was like $7,000. And it's like, we can't afford that.
A year?
So I
So
pre-
we do have a quote that we've gotten on it?
I presented that already though. For the GovPay, which was a different one.
Right, but then you had said, wasn't that the one you said that wasn't compatible with our website anyways? Or is that not
No,
compatible?
that's a different one.
That's the Reliabank one that I think that's what Kyle was saying, that it,
The Core Trust one, the one that we currently have for their terminal here, that software isn't compatible with going online and doing it. We would have to go over and change to a different software of theirs, where the gal was going to get me that paperwork and everything, what it would cost and what it would do, but she never gave it to me, so.
Who's the gal? I'll call her
It was-
tomorrow.
Right.
Just give it to me.
Yep.
No, I mean, I will. I bank at Core Trust. I
do a follow-up.
won't hang up till they give me an answer.
You're like, well, that's fine, I'll sit on hold.
Yeah,
I got a full charge. I can totally see you doing that. That's fine. I got a full battery here. I'll just sit him.
I did that at Best Buy one time. I got the whole day off. I can stand here all day and you got a line behind me.
Yeah.
So figure it out.
Okay, get that information to Julie then.
Yep.
And then, yeah, you just gotta stay on top of them people. Don't let them just like, oh, wait for them to get back to you. You have to. You let them do that, they'll never ever get back to you. Okay, move on. Then, the welcome signs, obviously, we know that.
Those look awesome.
So,
Thank you.
I'll put another feeler out there to council. We have to do, so I'm kind of been contemplating about it, and I wanted to see how you guys feel about it, about doing 2 meetings a month. So we're not running till 10 o'clock every night. Or not every night, but on our one nights, where we keep 2 meetings, try and keep them about an hour every time. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Keeps us up and fresh on discussion. We're not trying to jam pack everything in a month on one
The only
night.
problem I have with that is because they'll start getting longer and longer and longer. They will.
Mhm.
I'll guarantee you they will.
Yeah.
I've played that game with other stuff, and the more you break it down, next thing you know, you're gonna have a meeting every week.
Yeah.
And you're still gonna start getting longer and longer and longer. We need to do is stay focused on the agenda.
Yeah.
Get to the point. Be done with it.
Because there were some things too, like to try and get away from the special meetings, because I don't like sending out special meetings all the time. I think, you know, there was just some things, and if we don't need it, we don't need to use it. You know, no business needed, but just kind of felt that kept your minds fresh on some of the topics that we were talking about. You know, versus a whole month later and then trying to get back up to speed. You know,
See, after a week, after 3 meetings, I'm not at speed anymore.
well, I know, and I'm just adding more to my plate too. So that's
Well, the thing is, Seth emails his stuff out, and I mean, well in advance. Everybody should be reading through it and have it all. I mean, for proofreading the minutes and stuff, that should all be done before we even walk in here. You know, I mean,
okay. No, that's fine. Like I said, I just brought this as
Considered starting sooner?
that's
No, because we pushed it back in order to be respectful for people that needed to attend the school board meeting.
School board
And-
meeting,
I'm the
same.
only one who shows up to anything.
And I'm not gonna get here until, if I get off work at 5:30, so the earliest I can get here is 6. If I want to eat, it's gonna be 6:30. Otherwise, I won't be eating supper. And hey, there's a reason why I'm this size, and it's because I eat.
okay.
So we did have it earlier at one point, and
Okay.
then it was brought to our attention that it really isn't, if we're asking the community to try to support the school and support, they essentially don't have enough time to even get to that school board meeting in order then to return back here. They miss most of the.
Well, here,
A different day, didn't
Yeah,
work.
and they different, we tried looking at doing different dates for this, so we didn't coincide, or we didn't conflict with the school board, but it didn't work.
here's my question. If we go to 2, obviously you won't have the fire department, sheriff's reports, all that stuff twice a month.
No,
You do that one meeting. Claims would be still one meeting.
I mean, just think of it. We don't have to discuss it because obviously we can't change it overnight. Like we'd have to do all our resolutions and all that on it if we want, or ordinances, sorry, on it if we wanted to. But
I mean, you're dropping a third of the stuff off on one meeting.
In my case, I would have to find a sitter. So that means that the little bit of money that we do get to sit on this roll that pays the water bill, then you're asking for me to dedicate more time and to also pay a sitter. So, I mean, I would personally struggle with that, but that's my own personal. But then you also just, how do you do that if we're trying to vote on something and we have a quorum one time, we don't have a quorum, we cancel the meeting. And then we're gonna end up in the same position. It's one meeting a month.
Oh.
I get what you're saying, but this is one time a month and we bite the bullet and get through stuff. But I do understand trying to be more relevant, but I just don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, I completely see where Trevor's coming from. I see where you're coming from.
well, I could see eventually that it turned into, well, we'll just add this on to this meeting.
That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It's just gonna bounce it back to a meeting.
But, no. And with that too, I know you come down here to help out for stuff, but I think public time, we need to have a limit. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's it, you're done. Because some of these people come in on their issues and just nonstop.
Yeah.
We need to have a time that just, you're done. And I think 5 minutes should be plenty of time.
I think one municipality only gives them 3.
Yep.
They actually have a timer. I don't know who that is.
I'll get a damn timer.
Yeah, you
Same
got a
thing.
timer. When they start talking, they hit a timer. They have 3 minutes.
We'll just work on being more productive.
There's a lot of nights that public time gets long.
I think, yeah, I agree with that. I think we can just be more productive.
Yep.
So,
When you get a lot of fresh meat, so. like,
We're going
trying to
through a
get
lot of
people up
growing
to
pains right now
speed.
too,
Yeah,
with
well,
the sense of.
I don't want to grow anymore.
You either?
Yeah, I'm already at the point.
that's okay. It's not gonna hurt my feelings because it'd just be another week.
I was gonna say, you wanna be down, I mean, you might as well
Yeah.
kill the bed in.
Fire
So,
meeting, fire training night. I'm running out of
and motion
Monday
to
nights.
adjourn?
Yep, we get motion from that.
I'll make a
Motion to adjourn.
Second from Chaz, all those in favor say
I
Yeah, we got a third.
aye. Meeting adjourned.
Oh my.
Beautiful at work. Everything.
How did I do?
You're good.
Yeah,
You're hired.
Tomorrow.
You're hired.
everything's gonna be a dumpster fire.